You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks! Welcome to the Thursday Night Live call-in show. And you know what's missing?
What's missing?
My phone.
The outro?
That
you
too.
You got 20 minutes to get the phone, so that, hopefully you can fix that, rectify that problem.
I will. I will grab the phone before we start up.
You throw that banner up there.
Where's it at? Do you need me to grab it?
No. I'll grab it. I'll grab it. We'll.
It's charging.
I have no idea where it is.
Oh, nice.
That's a good point. Call-in show will begin. Oh, Wayne,
I got it.
Wayne's my engineer.
I got it,
I
man.
got
I
an
got you.
engineer
I got you.
in-house
I got
right
you.
here, right now. Look at that.
Well, the call-in show starts now. The actual phone calls
Calls
start in 20 minutes. There you go.
Well, that's what happened like last week. Every time I would try to change the banner, Carlos would change it at the same time as me. So
Oh, yeah.
go-
Nice.
Because we were thinking exactly the same thing, and we'd be moving cameras back and forth, him and I, because we're just kind of like, it worked out great.
I think we missed the introductions, didn't we?
Oh yeah, hi folks, I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Ricky.
Ricky.
I'm Wayne.
Mike.
And we are the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game, and on Thursday nights, it's all about how you game, except for the first 20 minutes. We take 20 minutes to prime the pump, talk about what we've been up
us for
to,
20 minutes, yeah.
and then allow you to step in and call us directly to tell us about what you've been doing gaming-wise in your gaming world. So I know we just finished a quick, fast game of Heat.
Quick fast.
Quick fast.
Quick, fast.
I wasn't quick or fast.
QST, quick simple turns.
No, I was dead last.
You were.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to give it a full give it the beans, but maybe just
That's how it is.
we could.
Nah.
I'm ready for it. I know I've played it enough. I'm
I
ready
played
for
it twice now, so yeah.
We can do a give it the beans. Let's
What
do
if
it.
you give it the bin?
The bin?
The B-E-N.
No S, no E, no A.
No A and S.
A and S. It's all about the AS.
Oh, yeah.
Give it the beans. When we give it the beans, we are giveth the beans, and we start
Giveneth?
with.
Did you just say giveneth?
Given it.
I don't think that's a word.
He keeps adding.
He's adding
I'm
extra
adding
syllables every
syllables.
time.
It's basics, enjoyment, aesthetics, negatives, and summary. It spells out beans. Look at that, Rob.
yeah.
You see?
Sure does.
We
I
did a
just ate some
thing.
beans.
Had a couple
Yeah.
people comment that they really like that.
They
That's
do.
cool.
Yeah.
Rob
Cool.
didn't like it.
No,
He made
actually-
fun of me.
I couldn't remember it.
How hard is it?
B for basics. Oh, basics. All right. Enjoyment. Yeah, okay.
Rob hates theme and
Yeah.
acronyms.
And acronyms. acronyms are hard.
Right out. Yeah.
So for the basics of the game, who wants to give the basics? 2 to 3 minutes basics.
You.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
The
You
basics
are
of the
a
game.
race car.
Yeah. Exactly.
On to enjoyment.
There's your theme.
I am not a race car. I actually did pretty bad at the game, but I'm a driver of race cars where I'm attempting to manage the resource known as heat of the car in order to push that car to its limits, to be the first around a number of laps of a racetrack against my foes. You're going to be using cards in a deck, almost like a deck builder in a sense. Where you have a deck of cards. You're going to draw a hand of 7. You're going to use those cards to play a number of cards equal to the gear that you're in. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. And you're going to play that number of cards. Each card is going to have a speed number on it. That speed number is going to dictate how many spaces that car moves. When you get to a corner, that's when things get tight. Because when you get to a corner, there's going to be a corner limit number. That number is going to be the highest speed that you can cross that corner line without taking additional heat. If you cross that corner line exceeding the limit of that corner, you're going to have to take heat cards from your engine into your deck, into your discard pile, which you'll then shuffle again later, like a deck building game.
Into your card.
Into your car, and you're going to take that heat into the car for every speed you exceed the corner. The problem is you only have a certain number of heat each race. Each map has an available number of heat, which most maps have 6 heat allowed. So as you run the heat on that car, you have to balance cooling the car by taking heat out of your hand into the engine again, and then subsequently taking heat out of that engine to do cool, fast stuff. And you're going to race around. As you add heat to your discard pile, you eventually end up depleting your draw deck.
And Carlos, what happens when you can't take all the heat?
See, what happens is
What happened was
5 times this game, you spin out. When you spin out, not only do you spin out and go back to the start of that corner that you failed at, you go down to first gear, so the next turn you're playing 1 card, right? And then you're also adding stress cards to your car. Stress cards are a it is one of the most random pieces of the game. When you play a stress card, it's got a boost symbol on it. That means that you just have to flip from the top of the deck and take whatever number's there. So you have less control based on the hand you got if you have a handful of stress cards. So that's the name of the game. That's how you win. Be the first to get around the corner. E for enjoyment.
This isn't difficult.
How you spell beans? E. Enjoyment. Someone take over.
So we'll go this way and we'll come back around the other way. So enjoyment, I liked it. It's if you are into racing games, if you played a bunch of racing games, Formula D, Flamme Rouge, Rallyman, there's a lot of mechanisms or mechanics that are similar to what you've probably seen. It doesn't really do crazy iteration on the racing game. It's got a couple of nice, cool mechanics. But we got a friend in the
Dan and
audience.
his cat.
Dan and his cat, yeah. So the enjoyment is easy. So, a new player could pick up on it fairly quickly. But if you're an experienced gamer and you know racing games, you can sit down and pretty much understand it pretty quickly. So the enjoyment is just, get in the groove and really trying to figure out how to play the cards in the right order to leave them available for the corners and how to get rid of heat. And it's really it's all about using heat and getting rid of heat and how
It's
you
a
balance
resource
that.
management
Yeah,
game.
it's resource
Yeah,
management.
hand management, resource management. Yep.
Yep.
Mhm. Dan, what do you think?
I enjoyed it.
There you go. All right. Enjoyment, he enjoyed.
That's deep.
Yes.
Ricky would play it again.
Would play it again?
Yeah.
Now Tim would like? Yeah. Enjoyment. I liked it better this time. So this is the second time I played. I wasn't a big fan of it the first time I played. First time I played, all four of us that were playing, I think it was four, it was either 4 or 5, we were all learning the game. It was shortly after it came out. I know now that we played some of the rules a little bit wrong. Nothing too major, but a few little tweaks that actually made it a little more gamey. So playing it the right way this time, assuming we played it correctly, did make it a little more enjoyable. It made it one step above. We had a little discussion about it being kind of an entry-level game. It's been touted as kind of an entry-level racer or, not a heavy game. I definitely don't think it's heavy, but there is some thought there. And the order of operations, the order of the way that you can shed heat and then take more heat to do a boost or something like that, there is definitely a certain amount of gaminess there in trying to manage your heat, manage your cooling. And then we played tonight for my first time with the expansion stuff, or is it a module expansion?
One of the modules that's built into the game.
So we had to do a draft before. We got to do a draft before. We each drafted 3 cards. Won't get into those details, but that definitely added some asymmetry in our decks, and it also allowed us to do some cool things. We kind of built our cars a little differently, and we saw some of that worked out better for some of us than others. But yeah,
A little bit.
But it was
What
fun.
are you talking about?
Oh yeah. Let me start over. Let me go back.
No, but as far as an entry level, I think like Downforce is an entry level.
Yeah,
right?
this is a step
Right.
above. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is more like
This is definitely a step
Rallyman
up.
or-
I was going to say that for my negative.
I think-
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's, enjoyment-wise, I enjoyed the added module that Robert talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I played it with the family. We had a good time. But when we added that module of the drafting, man, I messed up. Like, which is
draft right.
nice. Games should allow you to mess up, and that's what makes it enjoyable. Because then next time you could do something different. I went for all these cards. Mike, I'm over here adding turbos. I put some tires on there.
course
Then
you were.
I'm adding like aero, but all at the expense of heat. So I only have 6 heat to play with. Between my upgrade cards, I think it took a total of 4 heat to be able to use my 3 upgrade cards out of my deck. So I'm depleting my heat just using my cool cards, and then I got stuck. I couldn't take corners. I couldn't take risk. Everything had to be calculated, and then I failed at that too. But the ability to draft and to add these modules, I think, is going to be the key part of this game. Aesthetics-wise, Days of Wonder.
Yeah.
That's enough said.
Yeah. Good enough production.
It's pretty minimal, but
Good enough? What do you mean, Days of Wonder?
No, I mean the board was nice. It had and the little cars were cool, but the iconography
Yeah, that's definitely when we get to the negatives here.
that's
but
negative.
yeah,
and
yeah.
then also the card quality. It wasn't. I mean,
Yeah.
when you talk about
That's
Stone
linen
Mine-
finished.
That wasn't linen finished.
I don't know. I'd have to
I have
let me go
pull-
feel it again.
pull
No,
out
you're
Wingspan.
right.
Rub it
It's
against
not
my- I don't think it
That's not
was.
linen
Yeah,
finished,
it wasn't textured. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You definitely got like the old school Formula One. Is it Formula One?
Yep.
Yeah, Formula One feel.
Yeah, you got a little gear shifter, which I guess is kind of cool. It's kind of thematic. But
Wayne kept knocking his over.
Yeah, it's a little cheap piece of plastic. I mean, think of the game Sorry, the old classic, but not even that solid. But it was like almost like a hollow Sorry meeple or piece that you move around.
Damn, dude.
The aesthetics was definitely throwback. I mean, some of the art and stuff definitely kind of threw you back to an old, I guess Formula One is kind of the old Formula One that I got the feeling of there.
But they also had art in it for modern day Formula One. So what was cool is the upgrade cards go into modern day. So you'll see like a modern day Pirelli tire and wheel off of F1.
Yeah.
You'll see turbochargers out of like Fast and Furious. You know, wings that you can put on the car a la Fast and Furious. So it didn't hold itself to be too stuffy. Like it didn't say this is an F1 game. Pinkies up. It said no, this is a fun game. Look at all this cool stuff you can put on your car. So and the artwork was gorgeous.
No, I mean you say Days of Wonder, you Ticket to Ride, same kind of aesthetics,
Same quality cards,
same quality pieces,
plastic pieces. Yeah.
So yeah, take note, manufacturers, linen cards you run by Wayne. Plastic pieces go through Rob.
Yep. Need to step the game up a little bit. Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
We got you. We provide services.
No,
$7,500 for 5 videos.
My only thing about the cards is I can see if you play that game enough and you're constantly shuffling those cards. If you I don't sleeve, right, but so that could be an issue. Like card quality is an issue if you're going to be.
How much does the game cost?
Oh,
that might creep into a negative again. But,
MSRP I think is $59.99, but it's very hard to find right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to.
Just waiting for a reprint.
Game prices aren't going to go down,
No.
so that's not really that out of.
Yeah, $60 isn't terrible.
I saw
no,
a
it's
store
not.
that
No,
just
but
got
it's
the...
Going to be the new norm for games like that.
What'd you say,
Yeah.
Mike?
I was going to say I saw a store online that just got the second printings in, and they were selling for $75.
Just above MSRP.
Just because it's so hard to find right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that I got lucky. I got mine at Dan's flea market, so I lucked out. I got it for
Stole it.
$40.
Yeah.
I stole that thing.
Definitely.
It's for $50-$60. It's a quality game.
Well, have you played, Mike? We're leaving you out of the conversation a little bit here, but have you played it yet?
Nope.
Okay,
You
that's fine.
guys
We can
got
leave
it.
out then.
All right, so negatives.
It was definitely the iconography. There were
Yeah.
certain things that were, instead of having a plus sign, it should have had a slash because you didn't have to do both, or letting you know that it was a optional thing to do, and the icons didn't really
So yeah, the difference
convey that at all.
between the icons of what was the salvage and what was the other action, those icons were kind of similar.
Salvage and
There was a
Scrape,
different-
scrap,
and salvage were
They're
kind of
almost
similar.
Same.
Yeah. So yeah, there was definitely. I think that was all of us at some point commented at some point in the game the iconography, even the one on the top of each of the player boards that kind of walks you through the steps. There were some things on there. Even halfway through the game, we were saying, "Hold on, what does that do again? Or what's the order of this? Do you just do these in any random order, or do you have to do them in?" So they could have made a little flow better between this leads to this, that does this, and you do this in this order. But it was just kind of, I think maybe for theme's sake, they made them all kind of like little speedometer things. And
It
so,
looked like a dashboard
Yeah.
of the inside of your car.
yeah. So that
think-
was. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that there's a runaway leader issue. I got lucky with
You wouldn't say that.
no, I mean, well, until that last set of turns, the three of us were pretty close, right? I'm not trying to.
No, we weren't.
We were. Well, I think the issue is that Carlos in that first bunch of turns made a kind of catastrophic mistake.
Yeah.
And you were unable to catch back up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So
that
I-
took me out of
That
contention.
took you out of contention in the end of the first lap, basically. And I think that's always an issue. Like the catch-up mechanic is if you're in last place, you get an additional thing. I would almost house rule and say, like, based on how far you are behind, like, add to that. Like, if you're only if you're within 5 spaces behind, it's 1. If you're 10 spaces behind, it's 2, or to give you a little bit more of a chance, because it was hard to catch up.
Yeah,
if
they
you
could
were-
use a mechanic like Thunder Alley, Clean Air.
Yes.
That
yeah, clean air
allows you
card.
to come all the way back around. There's no yellow flag, so there's no option to get back into the back of the pack or anything like that.
Yeah, some better way to, because I did feel like I think I eventually did say, all right, guys, I know I'm not winning. I'm gonna go set up equipment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I left the table, and then Wayne joined me because he won.
Yeah. Although Dan made a pretty good comeback. He was third for a good chunk of the race, and I was pulling away from him at one point, and then I had a spin out, and then I had a trouble taking 2 of the turns back to back, and then Dan pulled right back up and passed me about halfway through that last lap, and then I pulled away from just a little bit again at the end. But
Yeah, it's tough when you spin out. It's bad.
Yeah, it's tough.
If you spin out, you're in trouble.
yeah.
It's adding that stress to your hand. It hurts.
It's going down to first gear. It's like multiple punishments there.
This game is deceptive.
Yeah,
And
there
that's part of my
should be
negatives.
something in there to help you catch back up because, like you said, that one catastrophic spin, and even with 2-3 laps to go.
And then at this point, the people ahead of you have to take no risk. They just don't
then-
risk it. Just take your turns.
Then the fun comes down a little bit because you're like, well, I'm not going to push it because I'm way ahead. I mean, why should I risk anything?
For me, the game is deceptive because it looks like Days of Wonder. This could be a family game, light rules, but really, we did a half a lap ahead of time, and I knew I wanted to do
Yeah.
it because that's how I felt the first time I played. Like, it's hard to grok, and I can't imagine families that would sit down, play that first lap, and be like, "Oh, let's keep playing."
No.
They're not going to give it a second chance. They're not going to be like, "Oh, now I get it." Like it took us a little while. Dan, I saw some multiple moments. No offense, multiple moments for Dan where he's like, "Oh, I get it," and then later, "No, I think I really get it."
I got it
And then
now.
later,
Same way.
if I would have known, I would have done like 3 times
No, that's accurate. Yeah.
to really understand how to play these cards and play this game.
I
So-
think this speaks to the skewing of what is considered entry level gaming.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a step up.
You go from Ticket Ride to this. There's a little bit of a step up because of just the different iconography and the way the cards work and the draft.
But it looks simple because the board's only 2 spaces.
Yeah.
There are only 2 spots per space. There's, it looks simple, but it's not. In summary, geez,
Try buy or deny.
try, buy, or deny.
You do yours first because you got to go find this phone.
I do. I'm on try right now. Like, I'm looking at my player board up top. I'm still not saying that this is a buy, especially when the MSRP, the games are being sold for more than MSRP. I try.
I think I'd agree with you. I was a little outspoken the first time I played this. I know we talked about it a couple of different shows. People called in, and it was one of those "what am I missing" things because there was so much buzz around this game when it came out. This is the new best racing game ever, and if you like racing games, you'll love this game. And I was like, I think I still might like Flamme Rouge better. It's close. This is definitely not hit it out of the park because this is, just to explain, this is the same designer that did Flamme Rouge, and so it's got some of the same feels, some of the same mechanics to it, and he just added some stuff, but you got the same hand management. In Flamme Rouge, you've got 2 bikes that you're having to manage. You've got the same idea. You're putting fatigue into your deck as you try to sprint out and do different things. I kind of like the play of Flamme Rouge better because I'm managing 2 different bikes. I'm trying to maybe at one point sacrifice one of the racers to get the other one ahead. So I don't know. 9 out of 10 people that I've seen online have said that this is better, that this is a better upgraded Flamme Rouge, but I don't know that I agree. But so I guess for my answer is it's definitely a try. I wouldn't say deny, but it's maybe closer to deny than try for me. So
Yeah. Right now, it's a solid try for me.
yeah.
Thunder Alley is still my go-to car racing game.
Oh yeah.
Because there's just multiple cars, lots more strategy, things are going on. There's good catch-up mechanics also. You can come back in with the yellow flags or the clean air cards.
Teamwork. You don't have teamwork in this at all. It's completely competitive. Yeah.
But it may move to a buy if I play a few more times with the AI cars that could be in there to put more cars on the track.
Yep, we didn't do that. Yep.
Do some more of the drafting mechanics, and then it might move to a buy, but right now it's definitely a try.
I think it's a 4-way for try.
Okay.
I liked it. It was
Yeah.
an enjoyable game. But to me, it's like I own Flamme Rouge, I own Snowtails, and then I'm looking at I'm looking at Carlos's ball of games. He's got Rallyman. I'm seeing like
It's all up there.
5 other racing games, and I'm like,
Formula D,
you know,
Jamaica.
for the $60 to $75 that you would buy this at retail. There's a lot of other games you can get used that are racing games, and if you already own some of these racing, Formula D, Rallyman, whatever we've mentioned a bunch, I don't see it like replacing any of those games for me. I already own Flamme Rouge, so I don't see the need to own for Heat. Now I will play it, and I would like to play like a league where you have multiple races and we can use multiple upgrades, those kind of things. That might add enough to it to make it a buy. But yeah, it's solidly in the middle of a try for me before you buy it. And if you really like racing games and you own all the racing games, then maybe it's a buy for you. But if you own a couple of the games that we've talked about,
All right.
try
Yeah,
before you buy.
that's exactly why I'm on the fence, because I love racing games.
Right.
So I'm still on that try area. But yeah, it may move to a buy, once we see more plays. And like you said, a season would be really nice.
All the way around the horn, then we're tries here. So the last word before we turn on the phones here in just a minute.
And we are completely opposite of like what gaming world is saying
That's
about
what I
the
said.
game.
What's
That's what I
crazy.
said,
And, well,
yeah.
and what's interesting though is, like, I like racing games, but you guys really like them, right?
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you guys all are probably
Some of my favorites,
even
yeah.
more into racing games than I am. I like Formula D. So I think you have 4 people that really like racing games.
Yeah.
And I think that might be part of it too. Is you especially me a little bit have played all the different racing games. I think there's a lot of people out there that haven't, so they play this and they go, "Oh, this is cool." That's so
Right.
it may be that the experience of the people in the group here are like, meh, this doesn't replace other games for us. But other people who haven't played all those games.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of recency bias in there too.
Last word, we throw it to Mike. So, Mike, you're the one who hasn't played it. So, from what we've discussed, what are your feelings?
I would give it a try. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks interesting to me. I like Flamme Rouge, and I love Thunder Alley.
Yep.
And I like racing in general, so it sounds like something I would want to try. Let me ask you this though: are there other modules or plugins that you guys didn't use other than
Yes.
like having the AI cars and stuff?
So there's AI cars,
Which add more than the 4.
right? So you can get all the way up to the 6. Then there's sponsors, right? So when you add sponsors, they have their own deck of special upgrade cards that are even cooler. Is that a word? More cool?
Are they asymmetric?
They are. Every sponsor is different, and they have different cards with it. But the way to gain sponsors, check this out, Mike, is cool. Because Mike and I like racing.
Yes.
Every corner gets some of the corners get a press standee. And if you do something cool at that corner, meaning you take heat at that corner, you then impress the press, which then gets you the sponsors. So in order to get sponsors, you got to do cool stuff on the track that, in other words, get heat to try to get the sponsors, to then you have to maintain those sponsors throughout the season. So that adds a coolness to it.
Yeah, I'd be
but-
down for playing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude. I'm assuming that carries over to the next race in the season.
Yep.
And
And then
not-
when you build your garage, I think it's, if I remember the rule right, you get to keep one of the upgrades that you built in that car, because you draft 3. Each
Yeah.
player drafts 3 at the beginning of the race. At the end of the race, you get to keep 1. So then the next race, you get to draft more. And I think you get to keep these parts like in your deck. And I'm not sure if it lets you go over 3 or if you can only use 3 of the ones that you kept. But at the end of the day, you start building your car towards the end of the season, and it's more consistent because you get to keep one of the upgrades that you drafted.
Okay. Yeah. See, that sounds more interesting to me. The only obvious problem with that is getting the same group of people together to continue the season.
Yeah.
But
What's-
it sounds interesting.
The interesting thing I would say is, like, all the other big reviewers that have reviewed Heat, they all love the game, but they didn't make the comments of like, well, but we play tested all the other modules.
True.
What you've seen is they played the base game, right, and then they love that. So I'm like,
Yeah. I wouldn't agree.
I wouldn't agree with that.
But we're also heavier gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, I'm not saying that heavy gamer. I mean, the Dice Tower voted as a nominee. Put
Are
it
you
as a
calling
nominee.
me fat?
Not
Heavy
you,
gamer,
bro.
Not you, man.
Heavy Mike.
This guy, not you. But we're also race game fans. So it's not only are we comparing it to other games, we're racking and stacking it against other race games that we like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, if I look at it, Thunder Alley's still on top.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
I would say Rallyman GT, and then maybe I come down to
Flamme Rouge. I'm still.
Flamme Rouge over
I like
that,
Flamme Rouge, yeah.
and then below that,
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Formula
That's too
D.
light.
Yeah. Jamaica's really
I'm
light.
joking, man.
I actually really like.
It's still a good game, though.
I don't know if you got
Oh, yeah, it's a good game.
Snowtails. I really like Snowtails.
I gotta try
I gotta try
Snowtails. We didn't play that.
Game.
Yeah.
But you can start to see where it starts to drop off, almost like a cliff at this point,
Yeah.
ending off with Formula D.
No, Downforce is worse than Formula D.
Oh, really?
Dan, have you played F1 yet? The GMT one?
No, I haven't played. I was at Grand Prix.
Yeah, Grand
Grand
Prix.
Prix,
Thank
there
you.
you
Yeah, no, I haven't played it yet, but I've read the rules and I like the changes they made from Thunder Alley, so we'll have to give that a go soon.
Dice Tower was actually just talking about that the other day. I think it was Tom was talking for some reason about it, and he showed the box, and he was talking about it compared to somebody on the Dice Tower was talking about it compared to Thunder Alley, and he was saying that this was actually, in his opinion, was the better game. It adds even more mechanics, but he said that it's just, I don't know if they haven't printed enough or whatever. He just said it's not out there. You don't ever see anybody playing it. He said every time he sees somebody playing one of those games, it's always Thunder Alley. So he said, I guess it's because it's been out longer and more people have played it. It's got more exposure.
More printing.
But but he said that the Formula One one, it adds just a few more mechanics to it that make it even more of a strategy racing game. So
Yeah, it does have a lot more. You can break out of drafting, and your repair, how long you're in the pit for repair depends on what you're repairing on your car and things like that. So there's a lot more interesting mechanics. So I think that's something we need to
try sometime.
we need to get that out at Dice Tower.
Yeah, maybe.
Cool.
Thunder Alley.
Thunder Alley.
Thunder Alley.
Grand Prix? Yeah.
Try both. Right?
Folks, I believe the phone line is now
It
open.
is, yes.
Yeah, 813-618-7099. Feel free to call anytime, take over the show, tell us what you've been up to. We're going to talk about, just again, whatever we want to talk about until y'all call in and interrupt.
No, we're going to update boards.
Yes, we're going to update
It
boards
is,
tonight. It's going to be one of the priorities, yeah.
So I want to start getting to kind of a rhythm. We'll talk offline, kind of figure that out, like based on the week of the month, what we should dedicate the show to. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Oh, apologize. Hold on one second. If you can hear us, but we got a little phone issue. Let's
Might still be the beer in the
difficulties.
phone.
fix the phone here.
Here in the phone.
Hello, caller.
What's up, man?
There we go.
We got it.
I dried the beer out of the phone.
That was quick.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hey, William, how you doing, Bobby?
I'm tired, man. These 10-hour work weeks for the school district.
Yeah, I
First
know you and
week-
I have been playing phone tag, just trying to talk to each other this week, saying hi to each other.
Yeah. The first week is usually hell week, so I'll be there. I'll be there next week, though,
Nice.
for sure. So, no, I'm just calling to see what's up. I wanted to be there. I really wanted to be there today, but I am too. Nope. I didn't even want to move. So, but I did get a game. I did sacrifice one of my days to get my first Kill Team League game in. I think it was yesterday.
How'd that go?
So I won my first game. It was 16-4. So
Dang.
you know,
Little
I felt
one-sided.
bad. I kind of felt bad. He's, when it came to picking our equipment and all that stuff, we were, I was like, hey, you know what is going to beat me, right? He's like, yeah. It's like, I think you should pick that. It's like, no, I'm going to pick this stuff. I'm like, okay.
It wasn't
Whatever
that
you
kid,
want, man.
was
That's
it?
fine. No, it was someone else. I felt really bad because at the end of the night when we were leaving, he walked up to the counter. He says, "I wanted my money back. I want to get out of the league."
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that his first and his last time? Yeah.
No, he's actually played a lot of games apparently at another store in Bradenton, and I just think he was on a spectrum. So I think what it was is that I threw him off his game. He had something he had all his ducks lined in a row, and he says, "You played weird." Like, what do you mean? It's like you ran in and you didn't care. It's like I had to. If I would have stood back, you would have won. So I had to sacrifice like 4 guys just to do what I did, and it turned out for me. I ended up with almost double your points.
Nice.
So
I pulled out my Kill Team stuff this week and was looking through my Kill Team box, looking at all my minis, thinking, man, that whole shelf down there, that whole is full of all Kill Team stuff. And just thinking, so much wasted money and space. I wish I could
Potential.
get into it. So I'm glad you're still playing.
And I did. I did run into some people that actually watched the show. They were playing Lost Ruins of Arnak one night,
Oh,
Nice. Cool.
and they were having problems with the rule set. So I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm gonna pack up my stuff and I'll walk over there and I actually ended up playing the game with them.
Cool.
So yeah, I was like, they actually said, have you heard this show called Beans and Dice? Like, yeah, I'm kind of part of that.
Oh, kind of part of
So
it.
then,
He's one of the
yeah,
beans.
Yeah. Nice.
but yeah, it was, so it, it was nice, but that kind of really wore me out. That's why I'm not there today. I'm just,
No, I had sent something in the chat the other day, William, and you commented on it. I got a weekly update from YouTube, and it said that we had like over 250 different people that interacted with us that week
Nice.
in the YouTube. And so it's like, we do our stream and we get, 9, 10, 15 people watching at a time. And I kind of always think, okay, 9, 10, 15 people, but then you don't realize all the people that interact with it during the week outside of the
people
show.
watch it after the fact.
Yeah.
People that listen to it on the podcast version.
And I know 250 unique people doesn't sound like a lot to big channels,
that's a
but
lot.
to me, that's
a lot of people.
a lot of people in the room to be in front of.
From what I gathered, this couple doesn't watch live; they watch afterwards. So they're one of the type of people that watch it afterwards. So, and I said, that's fine, that's cool.
Yeah.
By far, that's our biggest
said-
group. Yeah.
So yeah, and I told them, well, I think you guys are doing the next game day there, right, or no?
Armada games, yes. So the plan is going to be for June, which is I believe June 10th.
June 10th.
Yep.
It's going to be Armada games. I am hoping, folks, William, if you can make it, kind of a war gamey, feely type day, if possible. It's up to you, because D-Day, June 6th. Right before that, maybe play something World War II. I don't know. Blitzkrieg. I don't know. Quartermaster General. I don't know. Something war gamey. I'm going to bring war game stuff in honor of D-Day. So hopefully people will join me in a war game.
I will bring one game that I've been itching to play for some weird odd reason, which is Sekigahara, and I'll bring that.
There you go. It doesn't have to be World War II themed.
It's a D-Day.
It's just anything, war gamey. War game-y. Very open. So that'll be...
yeah, I'll bring that.
And in July, we won't have a game day in July. I think our second Saturday will be while we're at Dice Tower. If I did the math right, I think we'll be at Dice Tower.
Probably.
And
So-
maybe that Saturday, get everybody to wear their Beans and Dice stuff.
Yeah.
As our second
At
Saturday
Dice
game.
Tower?
It's our game day. Everyone wear Beans and Dice stuff.
At Dice
That
Tower.
Saturday at Dice Tower.
Yep.
So
I don't even have anything like that. I don't.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I've got a stack of T-shirts at home. So if you need one, I'll get you one.
We'll get Rob to get us
You know,
one.
I still got some extra mugs that I got from when we first started the show.
Oh, yeah.
You can just have them if you want to give them out to, if you want to let people know, hey, you can have them at the
Yeah, we'll talk
flea
about
market.
at Dice Tower. We got coasters.
the-
I've still got coasters. I've got bottle caps. I got dice.
Make up business cards with the QR code.
Yeah.
Give them away for winners of games.
Sure, do something like that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully
No,
we can get you
that's
some sleep,
great.
some energy, and we can get together for a game.
Yeah.
At least Seki.
I actually have to work tomorrow, so I normally would have Friday off, but because we had Memorial Day off, I have to work this Friday.
But I do want to get a 6-player game of Quartermaster General, and Dan's pointed at me. I had a good time with it.
And if somebody has to, I mean, I'll take Italy. I don't care.
Give him Italy. No, we'll do it random. Or the way the book
I mean,
sets it
I
up.
honestly had the best part of that night was the beer being spilled.
Yeah, on the phone.
Ay, Dios
Yeah,
mío.
as always.
Good
Yeah.
night, William.
Well, that and what was it? The 93 points or 63 points? What was it?
Oh, that
The tapestry,
tapestry thing?
mansion.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what? So we didn't lose by 63. We lost
No,
by like
I-
30, but
I lose a lot.
No, he's saying like that was his average score, and then
Gotcha.
he was like, "That's pretty."
Gotcha.
What was,
Right.
what was the new term? It was pulling
Pull a Carlos,
pull a Carlos
yeah.
or something.
Pulling the Carlos. Yeah,
On that
I'm gonna
note,
do a Carlos. Watch me.
I think
All right, guys.
I think the connection
I'm
in
gonna
the
let you
phone is
go.
bad from the beer.
losing you.
See you, William.
All right, I'll let you guys go. Get some other calls in there. See you.
All right, Bob.
Good night.
See you, man.
That's how it's done. Call
That
in, take
is
over the
how it's
show,
done.
hijack it, do whatever you want. Talk
Mike,
about
how's
whatever.
that board looking over there? I know that you've been lamenting 2023 as low gaming for you this year.
Yeah, it started out kind of strong, but honestly, since last week, I think I only played 2 games. Or, 2 games. I played Planet Unknown again at full player count,
Gotta play that one.
which was good. It's a relatively easier game. It's not too complicated, and for some reason, I just got my butt handed to me in that game.
Got a
And
call.
then,
Sorry, cut you off.
Beans
Yeah,
and
no
Ice
worries.
Podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hello, good evening, happy Thursday, gentlemen. This is Nick from Wesley Chapel, Florida.
Mr. Oben, how are you?
Outstanding. Doing very well. How are you guys tonight?
Doing good.
Glad to have you here, homie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's happy to be here. Rob told me to call in and take over the show. So, we can talk about axe throwing. We can talk about
It's all
Blood
yours.
Bowl. You want to talk about Blood Bowl, Carlos?
Not since my last season, bro. It was
Trying to put us to
terrible.
sleep.
Oh, and that's actually a good topic
Yeah.
because again,
Gosh.
it seems like this is becoming a thing. I didn't mention it to Carlos, but this has got to be the second or the third year in a row that you came into Blood Bowl all excited about. Oh, this is going to be my new game. It's the bomb.
Got
And
his
I
still
players
play it.
And then about
painted.
halfway through every season, as you did again the other day, it was like, you know what? I'm never playing this game again. This game is overrated. I don't know what I see in this game.
like the guy who
gets
always comes in last in
so
fantasy
depressed
football.
halfway through every season. He comes in so charged up. I mean, it's not just this time. Like I say, it's been at least 2 or 3 years in a row. You've come in all
ADD.
gung ho. Yeah,
It's not just that. It's and Nick can attest to this. There's no other game that can get your emotions riled up like Blood Bowl can. Period. Like no
I
other
beg to
game.
differ.
Oh no! Like it is such an emotional roller coaster. It's so many ups and downs, and you can't have disappointment without having had hope. And that's what Blood Bowl does well. It gives you hope. Like you might be able to pull this out, and then you just snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat, or defeat out of the jaws of victory.
Yeah.
You did a one game where all your guys
Yeah,
get
or-
hurt.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I had
you're
so many
on the-
guys
You're on
killed.
the other end of that. You're on the other end of that, and Knuckle looks down at you and smiles, which you don't want, right? And then you start rolling ones. I'll tell you, and this is not going to be a ringing endorsement of the game, but I have actually sworn my sons off of it for a little while because it was like, guys, it is not worth the emotional roller coaster that I have to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are not allowed to play this game for a little while until you like cool off. Because I mean, invariably, it's like it gets under your skin, in your heart, and it's tough. Like you roll that dice and you look and you see and you needed a 3 and you rolled a 2 and that's it. It's done. Right?
After
And
you
then
rolled
just-
like 5
you're
6s
crushed.
for no reason. You rolled like 5 6s
Right,
and all
right.
you needed was a 2. And then, this
Yeah.
time all you need is a 3 and you can't even get that. It's- oh, yes. I'll show you where Blood Bowl hurt me.
No, but
Yeah.
I
Right
did, just to keep the juice flowing. You hear that sound? I did pick up at a little shout out.
It's not after
to,
10
for
o'clock
Honor
yet.
and-
Hold on a second.
Sorry. Dude, actually, I
Slow
was
down.
gonna make-
Carlos is done.
There was
Sorry.
something I was going to talk about.
Go ahead, Nick.
Sorry.
No, you're good. We were at For Honor and Glory there in Zephyr Hills, and I did pick up a new set of Blood Bowl dice. I mean, it's silly because you don't need a set of Blood Bowl dice per team, right? But then it's also kind of fun. So I picked up the Corn team dice set because I didn't have that yet. Which does remind me, I was thinking, Carlos, I got to get over there someday and do more printing. Do you still have the Glowforge sitting there?
Yeah, I have to light it up. It's been a little while since I lit it up, but we have winners for Beans
yeah.
and Dice tournaments online.
Yep.
So I got to come up with a spoon for one of them, and I think
Probably Man GT.
Getty
Yep,
won
he did.
again.
He did.
So I got to get him a trophy going,
I finished second.
and then Armada's got a Blood Bowl tournament in.
Nice.
Dan got third. Nice. Got a Blood Bowl tournament in July at Armada, so he's asking me to do some tokens over there, and I think we're gonna give away a bowl, a laser engraved bowl instead of just a wooden spoon.
Wow.
In that event. So yeah, I have to activate the laser.
And there's 2 expansions of
Fire
Dune.
the laser!
Two, two expansions of Dune. You
What
got to
the-
cut some acrylics for.
and we got to get some acrylics going there. So yes, it's gonna be fired back up.
Cool. Well, I'm going to hop on your calendar at some point and get those Blood Bowl team containers out. They're a lot of fun. But anyways, board game wise, besides Blood Bowl and the blood feuds that it causes, we did have a game day last Saturday, nautical themed, which I'm all into.
Very cool.
And we got Endeavor, Age of Sail to the table first,
Great
which is
game.
a great game. Love that game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Such a deliciously tight but interesting decision space on every turn, right? Like every turn is fun. And that's more and more to me the real judge of a good game. It's like, do I have kind of lame turns or is every turn fun? And in that game, I found I was able to do something. And because you can map it out, right? You look down at your board. For those that don't know, it's basically an action selection game, but throughout the game, you get to extend the set of actions available to you. killing, or heavier into conquering or colonizing. I don't know what that action's called, or doing trade actions or whatever. You are in control to a certain extent about what you're gonna specialize in, and then on your turn, you just take one of your actions that you already prescribed. But it's tight. I love it. It was great. I think Dan won that game, and
he did. We were all picking on Nick the whole time because we're paranoid about Nick's ability to run away with games, as we have experienced in the past. And so I think like the first 3 pawns that were killed on the board were all of Nick's, and so but Dan took advantage of that for sure, and he played a solid game and actually won fairly handily, if I remember. I don't remember what the final scores were, but I think
I crushed it.
he crushed it.
I mean, he was in first place, and everyone else may as well have had 0, pretty much. Is what it was at.
Yeah.
No, he and I had what scores close to each other, and then the third, fourth, and fifth was like a next set down. But it was good. It was great.
Yeah, good game.
It was great. And then we did. I was super excited to teach and get title blades to the table, where we played at a 4-player count, and it was everyone else's first time playing. So Sam was there. Hi, Sam. And then Wayne and Rob were at the table with me. And it was good. I liked that game a lot. I will say, and I'm interested in your guys' thoughts on it. I will say that it plays better at 3, in my opinion, than it did there at 4. At 4, because for those, I don't know if you're bringing it up, but it's a kind of like a, what do you even call it? I mean, it's worker placement. It's a worker placement game, but a big mechanic of the locations that you go to when you put your worker down is to collect dice, so you can then use the dice on other actions. But a lot of those actions cause the dice to either be lost, or other parts of the game cause them to be lost. So a big part of the game is figuring out that you are building up this corpus of dice only to use and lose them, basically, and then you do it again. And getting that timing right is really interesting. You don't want to be stuck at the end of the game with a ton of powerful dice, but now it's the end of the game and they don't give you any points. You should have used them on fighting monsters or whatever, right? But if you fight monsters too early, you lose all your dice, and now maybe your last turn or 2 are nothing. They're kind of blanks.
Yeah.
So it's a timing game there. But at 4 players, I felt that none of the players could actually get really powerful. They couldn't collect enough dice. It was too tight to do cool things. And kind of the opposite of that Endeavor comment, I had turns where I was kind of like, I guess this is the best I can do, right, on my turn. Mm-hmm. And the number of really fun turns was about maybe only a third of them or so. The rest were kind of like, well, I guess I have to do this now. But I'll turn it over to Rob and Wayne on your thoughts.
Yeah, the throwing dice at the bad guys. I mean, that feels very much like Champions of Midgard, an older game. I say older game, what, 5, 6 years old, maybe a little more than that. But anyway, an older game that does kind of that similar thing. You're just collecting dice for a round or 2, and then you're throwing them at the bad guys and collecting them again and throwing them again. It's interesting that Wayne and I were talking about before the show tonight. We talked about it just a little bit, and we talked about how Wayne brought up that the tightness of it at 4 players, and we kind of wondered out loud if 3 may be the better way to play that game. So that was again, I'll let Wayne take over there because that was his thought. But
it's just like there was a lot of there was times when we had especially as you get more actions, because the game is kind of cool. It's like you start off with 2, and then as the game progresses, you get a 3rd and 4th action. It got tighter, and it got to the point where it was like you're not going to get the space you need, and so I thought that was a little bit of a hamstringing. There wasn't late in the game, Rob, you got a card that allowed you to go to where someone else was.
Yep.
That would have been super powerful if you gotten that 2 turns earlier. Yeah. But then the rest of us were all kind of messed. So I really enjoyed the game. It was really cool. I want to play it again. I would play it again, but I would probably I would definitely try it at 3.
Yeah. And now that I've played it once, I would play it again. If somebody had it out and they were looking for a player to play, I was really itching to play it. I mentioned to you, Nick, I've been wanting to play that for several years, and I'm glad I played it. But it didn't quite have the wow factor that I was hoping for. Again, it's another one of those that was the production, I think, is what really had it hyped up when it came out. People really liked the dials and the boards and all the engraved dice and all that.
The production value is definitely high.
Yeah, it's a high production game, so that had me, I guess, expecting a little more from it. The fact it's been out for a few years, people are still playing it, people are still talking about it. It was good, but it wasn't my favorite worker placement. It was good.
I think the way that, if I could just cut in, the way that Nick described it is it seemed that there were too many turns where it was just kind of like, well, I guess I'll do this.
Yeah.
Until you get up to the point where you're, kind of like fighting the monsters. That's exactly how I felt about it. When I had it, and part of the reason why I got rid of it. But yeah, again, though, the production value on it was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
like over the top, and it looked great. But yeah, there was just too many turns in between the turns you were looking forward to that were just kind of eh.
And I think especially in this game, I'm not. And spoiler alert: the game didn't make my top 20, but I think part of it was. You play games sometimes, and there's you have a couple of turns that just don't go well, and so I don't want to judge a game based on that. But there was 3 turns in a row where Nick, Sam, and I all lost a die, and in the game is you're trying to collect die and then upgrade the dice to do bigger and powerful things. So like turns 3, 4, 5, we all lost a die, and so I would get a powerful die and then immediately go, boop, there it goes, And so that kind of slowed it down where, and then...
Yeah, it's like artificially slowing down the game.
Right, and Rob didn't he didn't lose a couple of those dice, so there was a little bit where I felt like he was kind of running away with it at the end. So I'm not judging the game on that. It was really just kind of just bad luck in the cards and the way it played and the sequence where the 3 monsters we fought happened to do that same thing, and we rolled a die, and that triggered, and we lost a die. So I wouldn't judge it based on that, because that's that sequence of events is not going to happen every time you play the game, but it just sucked that it did. You know?
Yeah. And with 4, it was tied. At 4, there was a little bit of downtime, but yeah, go ahead, Nick.
And we also did play. I made this comment about halfway or maybe 2/3 of the way through the game, where I definitely realized we were dice poor in general. We played with several of the mini expansions specifically in the market area. And more of the market cards, that one island that lets you buy market cards, should have given us access to extra dice. We saw some of those cards come out, right? You could spend 4 fruit to get 2 red dice or something.
Yeah.
Those cards are actually not supposed to be as rare. I think we got unlucky in that regard too.
Yeah.
So the monsters were hitting our dice, and we were rolling those monsters.
And the marketplace wasn't cooperating.
And the marketplace wasn't cooperating as well. So it was just dice poor scenarios all over the place, to the point where, you would have 3 actions, but you only had 2. I had that happen several times. It's I have the actions, and I agree, Wayne, the scaling up of the game, and Sam made this comment too, it's a deterministic number of turns. Carlos, you'd like that, right?
Yes.
We played with the tryout round, which does add effectively round 0. It's literally called tryouts. So it's not even called round 1 yet. And then there is round 1 through 4 after. But on that side of the board, you play with 5 rounds, and you're going to have 14 turns, period. Everyone knows that, start of the game. And so I wasn't turn poor. I wasn't action poor, which is something that can definitely come up in a game where you only have 14 actions the whole game, right? We were just resource poor, dice poor. And I think that's just the tightness of the player count and how the board doesn't get bigger at a bigger player count. Combined with the market not cooperating, combined with the monsters going after our dice. So, I will say that at 3, we liked it a lot. So
it almost needs a viticulture thing where the spaces expand as you get more players.
Yeah.
And different bonuses based on the number of players.
Something like that, yeah. But it was good. It was a really cool game. But yeah. Want to play it again, want to play it at 3.
Mm-hmm. Very good. That's it. That's what I played. The boys and I did. Oh, it was great. We've talked about this game a dozen times on the show, but it keeps coming back because I think it is that good for a family rate co-op game. Carlos, what's the best family weight co-op game that I play with my sons?
Oh God!
Oh, it's got to be Marvel, right?
Marvel
Yep,
United.
Marvel United.
Yep.
Marvel United. Me and the boys played Marvel United yesterday. We did the Black Panther set. We actually did Black Panther, but then we went against, oh God, what's his name? We went against one of the bad guys from like the big box. The really old wizard dude who moves his hand and can affect everything or whatever. But that guy, it was fun. I mean, that
Trademarked.
That continues.
That guy,
Gandalf?
wrong IP.
Love it. Anyway, but that continues to just be talk about. This is like my theme of the night. Rating how fun is a turn. Those turns are just fun. They're great. I mean, like, oh, I can do this. I can use your thing. Hey, can you give me some punches? Yeah, you can. Great. We knock this guy out. You're developing that storyboard. It never gets old. You play with different characters.
Plus, it
fun.
plays quick, right?
Yes, less than like 45 minutes.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, and the boys remarked at that. So it's funny. I've mentioned this. We slowed significantly on our board game playing here versus last year. Anything less than once a day is slower, right?
Yep.
But we slowed significantly. But the boys even said, so we had to pull out 3 boxes to play the game we played. But even with that, so we did the Black Panther, we did the core set to get the tokens, the Black Panther set to get some of the heroes, and then the big box to get the Gandalf, right?
Yep.
Right.
And even with that, it was like, boom, we were chit-chatting, and before you knew it, it was set up, we were ready to go. And then we even did talk about how we could just play it again. Like, okay, we had the big box of bad guys here. Once we do this, we can just play it again. We ended up not, but yeah, the setup and breakdown and re-racking is so easy and quick and simple. It's great. Beautiful game. Love it.
That's what I love about Marvel United. You have my axe. Lord of the Rings quote. Come on, damn.
Have my axe.
Do you?
Yes.
You
All
need-
right.
Yeah.
And my sword.
Yeah, that was
You
good.
shall not pass. How about something like that? How about something we can pick up on?
You know what?
You fool.
Mitchell wasn't here because he would have jumped in. And
Yeah.
you have my sword.
Yeah, there you go.
You need like a crickets.
Yeah, cricket. Well, and speaking of fun, or Carlos is gonna hit a button. There we go. I'm reaching for it. So, speaking of fun turns and great games, I'm not gonna get into it because I think hopefully our next caller is gonna be one of his big topics. But did you hear the new Gloomhaven news today?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't want to get into it because again, I know Ron wants to call, but I just needed to check
I
with
know
you
Rob
before
does
to
that.
see if.
There we go.
Did you hear the new
Yeah,
Gloomhaven?
we're
I
not
don't want to
getting
get into it.
No, we're not getting into
Just
it.
gonna drop
But
it.
Nick is my Gloomhaven buddy, so
Like a
Nick and Joe.
Gloomhaven grenade.
So, yeah, Gloomhaven grenade.
All right,
So
there we go.
that's prompting Ron to call though.
I'll bring back up Mr. G's comment from earlier.
That's
Because I
right.
thought Nick was going to talk about it, and I said, no, it'll probably be Ron.
Yeah. That's why I saw that, and that's
okay,
actually that's what keyed me in. So yes, but so no, I'm gonna save it for Ron. But I just wanted to make sure you heard. So if not, I was gonna tell you need to tune in and listen.
I guess
to
you guys
the
got to
rest.
redo the whole thing.
Read the whole
Yeah, let's
thing.
start over. Yeah.
I'm
so-
gonna wait.
Rob's
I'm
like,
gonna
hey,
wait for-
guess what we're not going to talk about?
Yep.
Yeah,
Till
I know,
later.
right?
It's coming. It's called a teaser.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what we're going with? All right.
Go ahead, Nick. What was that?
Very good. All right.
Oh yeah, you good?
No, I was just saying I'm going to wait for Ron's call. I get out of the way and let him call so I can hear all about a second edition.
There you go.
Good night, homie.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Nick.
See it.
That's your cue, Ron. Let's go.
Let's go.
I know he's only the
Where
first
you
call.
at?
He's not calling in tonight because he's.
Oh,
busy.
it's 2 now, so he'd be number 3. Yeah.
Why even try now if you're number
Yeah,
3?
might as well just give it up, hang it up.
If you're not
so.
first, you're last.
Yeah.
Well, since you guys were dropping Lord of the Rings, just so I can finish up really quick, the only other game that I played this past week was Lord of the Rings Living Card Game. And
Lord of the
No,
Rings.
go ahead,
Living
answer
Card.
it,
Go ahead,
man.
Mike. Finish up.
Beans
No,
and
I was
Ice
just going to
podcast.
say, we played the... oh, go ahead.
State your name. Where you calling from?
This is Ron from Atlanta, and does it really have to be like that?
Yes.
There's your
Am I
cue.
that predictable?
There's your cue.
It's like that.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah. Well, if I was more predictable, I would have been the first caller, right?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, threw us off tonight.
But before we get to the topic that Rob is teasing, I did want to. I want to talk about a couple of things right quick. I busted out Trails and played it a couple of times
Nice.
for the first time, and it's a nice affordable game at a $30 price point, and it's the little cousin of Parks. I think there's more of a game in Parks, but Trails is definitely a nice little family weight game for that price point. So I'm glad I picked it up.
Haven't played Trails yet. Carlos,
And,
you have this one?
I have Trails.
Okay.
I've played it with family. I've
seen
played
it.
it at Thanksgiving events. It fits in your pocket. Actually plays a little longer than you think. It's more of a 30 to 45 minute game because there's a game there,
Yeah, yeah.
but it fits in your pocket.
So what makes it different than
Yeah,
Parks?
yeah.
I've never played Parks.
Okay.
Okay. Can't compare.
Right.
Ron, you've played both?
I have played both. I say Parks is a little bit more of a game because you have that track system in Trails like you do in Parks, but in Parks you go from trailhead to the trail facing trailhead to trail end, and then you immediately go back to the beginning for the next round. Whereas in Trails you travel back and forth, but like as a hiker gets to the trail end, the sun starts to set, and so it's an inherent timer, and it really gets interesting. Particularly like with the higher player counts, where like people are hitting that trail end, and it's like, oh, that sun's moving really fast. I better get the most out of the nighttime bonuses hitting these various points. But for Parks, you're visiting the parks. I think the resources are a bit more, they're just a little bit more scarce to come by. And the parks are tougher to visit. Whereas Trails, you have badges. It's effectively the same type of rule, except it's easier to get badges in Trails than it is to visit parks in Parks.
Okay.
So that's basically it. They're both great games. So yeah, I really
Yeah, but one
enjoyed
fits in your
that,
pocket.
and,
So you get the feel of Parks.
that's
And Mike,
true. That's
I know
true.
you were a
That
fan
was okay.
of Parks, right, Mike?
Oh,
I think
yeah.
you had a friend who's Forest Service or something, park ranger. That you introduced it to him.
Hey, he's just making that up, but that's all right.
Yeah,
friend
I
who-
think you're making that up, but that's okay. I'll run with it. Yeah,
You and
he
Yogi
did.
Bear?
He ran all the national parks, and
Picnic
he
baskets.
turned me onto the game.
There you go.
No.
Anyway.
the other thing was, I listened to you guys, give us the beans on Heat, and I was quite surprised because I heard all of this hype, and I have Flamme Rouge, and I have Downforce, which really doesn't compare to either one of them, but it works for me and my family, and I thought, man, Heat sounds like it's awesome, but it was really great listening to you guys dissect the game from your perspective and really give valuable analysis because I have a better sense on whether I would enjoy that game or not. And it sounds to me like, especially for the price point, I gotta try that. I can't just throw $60 on a game just like that. Like I better be getting more, but I know things are getting more expensive. But anyway, I'm just saying. Just wanted to say kudos to your discussion about it. I really enjoyed it.
Appreciate that.
It was really great.
You sure you were listening to us?
Yeah, is that some other channel?
Valuable insights.
Valuable
What show are you watching?
Well, I think definitely you say you own Flamme Rouge, so it's definitely like you already own.
You're
like,
good.
You're good for now. Dice Tower East, we can get it out. You
Yeah,
can
we'll try it
It'll
out.
probably be on the hot games table.
Yeah.
You'll be able to try it out then, definitely.
I'll be selling it.
Yeah,
No, I'm
yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, so-
All right, so now to the big news of the day. Cecil Affair announced on a Twitch stream that there is a Gloomhaven second edition coming. And when they made the announcement, I just thought they were going to talk about the role-playing game a little bit more. I was actually kind of surprised. They have they announced that there's going to be a miniatures project, and there's going to be the role-playing game, and there's going to be a backer kit coming out or game file or whatever. crowdfunding campaign to support that. But I did not see a Gloomhaven second edition coming. What they highlighted is that second edition is streamlined. From what I saw from the announcement screen, that the art is literally lighter and like also thematically lighter.
Yeah.
And then the third thing,
We're talking about the
really
coloring.
highlighted-
When you talk about the art,
Yes, the color.
and
Yeah.
I was watching Shelf Side, does great stuff. He just did his hour and 40-minute review of Frosthaven.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that
I
yet.
love that channel.
Yes.
That's a great channel.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Great.
They're so
Talk about
funny, man.
insight right there. But he did show the difference in the art between Frosthaven and Gloomhaven, and it is significantly different.
Yeah.
It's brighter, it's more saturated colors.
Yep.
The artwork on the monsters and the standees is deeper, like there's more to it. So it sounds like, Ron, they're going to implement some of that, what they improved with Frosthaven on the cards, the iconography, and the colors into Gloomhaven. Sounds like what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. And the third thing that they mentioned and highlighted was that I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the art, but like the story changes, that they're really taking a more critical eye towards things that in various fantasy stories that some groups might find offensive or whatever, and so like, you know, I think that's something that's I think it's a noble endeavor, and they're really, you know, getting into it. Of course, there was a big kerfuffle because when in the development of Frosthaven because of that very thing. Like, you know, some people didn't see what the reason why they would do that, but like, you know, whether it affects you or not, it's like, you know, I still think it's a net positive. But I have to read some numbers to you guys. All right. 2017, 2020, 2022, 2024. Those are the release years of the Gloomhaven games in this line.
Every 2 years?
That
3 for the first
might
two,
be a
and then
bit
2.
much.
I think that's
Yeah.
what I think that's where Dan was coming from when he and I were talking about 2E earlier. Is like, is this not enough? Like, are you not entertained? Like, how much more Gloomhaven do you need in your life?
I don't need this, and that's where I was going to go. So that was my big thing. Is I'm sure everybody thought I was going to be all on board for it, but I don't. They mentioned
You
that
already
they're
played it.
Yes, I've already played it. They're adding 10 new missions. They have reworked 8 of the 12 classes. They've changed some of the cards. They said to make them simpler. The Frosthaven is now going to be the heavier, more complex product, which Nick and I and Joe are already discovering. It is definitely more complicated. The missions are harder. They've announced that the missions are harder, that people were asking for a harder Gloomhaven, and this is a harder Gloomhaven. This is even more what Carlos probably would hate, because, again, he didn't like the planning out and having to do everything in certain steps to make sure you beat that mission. This one is even more so. If you make a few little mistakes, you're replaying the mission at some point, or you're house ruling it and moving along. I mean, this is definitely... So they said that they went back now, and they're making Gloomhaven an even lighter product with this to further differentiate it from Frosthaven. So Frosthaven is going to be the heavier, harder, more punishing game, and then this is going to be even lighter than the original Gloomhaven. Again, they've reworked these classes to make them easier to play. They have lightened up the story. They said they've made the story a lot less linear and more open. You can wander around a little more and do more of what you want to do. They've made some of the interactions easier to understand, streamlined some of the rules. But like you said, Mike, I've already played this game. I mean, I have played through... I've only done it once, and I know there are people out there who have played start to finish 3 or 4 times. I see people online. You know, I've done this every way. I've played every
percentage
character.
have done that, though?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
Got to be a tiny little percentage.
It took our group 2.5 years to get through it. So, I mean, we could have done it quicker, but yeah.
And that's what they get. You know, I'm all for 2E, right? I'm
Yeah.
all for fixing what didn't work in the first. But it's really more, to me, it should just be, hey, every Gloomhaven that gets printed from now on is going to be this 2E thing, because I don't know how many people have not played Gloomhaven that are go, oh, I want to play it now that it's 2E.
That's my question: is where's the audience for this? Because and again, in the stream, at the end of the stream, they spent like the last 15 minutes of the stream. Well, it probably wasn't 15; it was probably closer to 10. Trying to describe or explain to people why, if you've already played through Gloomhaven once or twice, why you need this product. And they said that they all during the live stream today. Isaac mentioned, he said, I already see people in our live stream chat flaming, this idea and saying, well, we're just going to throw away the old Gloomhaven now. We're halfway through it, but there's no reason to play it now. We're going to throw it away, and we're just going to wait for the new streamlined Gloomhaven. Why even continue with what we're doing?
I love gamers.
Yeah. And
So,
Isaac, so that's just ridiculous. He goes, it's still a product. It's still a game that so many millions of people
just
have
because
loved.
they put out a 2E, and Wayne and Ron know this, because in role-playing games,
D&D,
they always come out new editions. Nobody's coming to your house to take your first edition and tell you can't use it no
That's what I'm
more.
saying. Like, even if you just
Finish your game.
if you look at the bigger Beans and Dice group, right? There are those that have played Gloomhaven and loved it, like Rob, and have moved on to Frosthaven.
Yeah.
There are those that tried Gloomhaven and
went back to
I'm out.
Jaws of the Lion.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there are me, like I played Jaws. I hearing you guys talking about, I'm like, oh, Gloomhaven would sound good, but that's a lot. I don't have enough in me to do that. So let me play Jaws of the Lion. And my wife and I are like halfway through, and we've already like, let's play something else. Like we're
Hero Quest.
We're about halfway through Jaws of the Lion. We're like, yeah, I'm glad we didn't invest in Gloomhaven, because we would never get through it all. It just not it. We like it, but it's just not for us. So, where's the new audience for a new Gloomhaven? I don't think. I think it's just a new printing, and it's going to sell, but it's not going to sell anywhere near the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you might get a few people that were, like, oh, Gloomhaven's too hard. Now that they made it easier, we might look into it again.
Go ahead, Ron.
I will say that Gloomhaven has such a large audience, and I know specifically in the first couple of years that like there were people that were playing those 80 or so scenarios in a matter of a couple of months.
Yeah.
Like I would read stories, like particularly like more than one situation where like there's a couple and all they played is Gloomhaven. They played Gloomhaven every night, a couple of scenarios a night, and like they just crushed.
Some of those scenarios are 3.5, 4 hours. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's
Well, you
Go
were
ahead, Ron.
playing with Nick.
Well.
But like, but there are people out there that consume, that can consume a single game like that. Particularly, like if all the people involved are like super into it. But the question is, how many of those people are there?
Yeah.
Like, so it's interesting. For me, man, I'm just gonna go play a role playing game. But like, I would love to have maybe a 12 scenario Gloomhaven.
I thought another Jaws of the Lion might be better than a 2E of Gloomhaven.
Give me a Frosthaven version of Jaws of the Lion.
Right.
You'll be able to hear they are scrapping the tiles for the second edition. It is going to be book.
See, that's what I was telling Dan about that. Like, if it's a
That would
book,
help.
that's cool.
Yeah, they are doing that. Mhm.
As far as the second edition, I get the same feeling from it that I get from like mainstream movies, where they have a movie that came out 10 years ago and they make it again for a new audience instead of putting a new IP or some effort into something new. I get zero out of, no excitement for a second edition of something that they're going to tweak a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it just doesn't really do much for me.
Yeah, Dan, you bring up a good point, because I was just thinking about today, like, here's some news about the live action Moana that came out, that's being developed. Moana came out in 2016. Like, it was one of my favorite movies. It's one of my favorite Disney movies.
It's a good one.
And, but like, Disney, they've been putting out these live action movies, but like, from what I've seen, they've been doing stuff from like the 90s or earlier, right? Like 30, 40, 50-year-old movies and remakes, remakes are fine.
Animated,
live
like
action
true hand-drawn animed, they're turning them into live action. Aladdin, Lion King.
Yeah. They've been hit or miss.
But my thing is like with Dan, it's like with Gloomhaven came out in 2017, And yes, they're streamlining and making some changes and all this kind of stuff. But it's essentially the same game as the first edition. And it's like it'll be 7 years from the first one,
Yep.
so that is a good bit. But in between that, we had two other games in the line.
Yep.
So it's like I don't know.
Would if they came out today and said it, instead of saying Gloomhaven Second Edition, if they came out and said, "Hey, Gloomhaven reprint, all the new printings of Gloomhaven are going to be a book, and hey, we fixed some things in it, and so anybody who goes out and buys the Gloomhaven going forward, it's going to be, the reprinted version that we fix things." Would that have hit differently than them saying Second Edition?
I have a feeling on that, right? Because I feel like that would cause market confusion.
Like viticulture?
Yeah, you took it right out of my mouth, bro.
All the different versions. Yeah.
Like, I just wish Jamie would have said second edition, third edition, fourth edition. Like,
Funny.
as someone who was just recently getting into viticulture this past year and wanting to buy some, it's like, what am I buying? Like, which one do I get? What is a Tuscany and what is a Fermunda cheese? It would add market confusion. So I think doing the 2E thing is right to delineate first and second edition. And collectors like me, if there's so many games I have first edition of that I bought the second edition, even though I've never played it, because I like the first edition and I just want to make sure I have all of it. So there will be people
Right.
for it. That's my opinion. Market confusion.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded if this was like a different genre. Would have done something like a dark sci-fi.
Gloomhaven sci-fi setting would be
Plaid Hat Games is doing that, right? Instead of redoing Forgotten Waters or another pirate game in that system, they're making that system work now in a fantasy world, right? So that's the new one that's coming out. So you're right. Instead of making another Gloomhaven exact copy or storyline, just give us maybe a smaller box, like another Jaws of Lion, like a second one. I think it'll probably get them a better market. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll shoot up to the number one again on BGG.
I think Ron hit the nail on the head, though. If you did a sci-fi version of Gloomhaven, that would hit.
When they tried, there was that game that was
Arcos or
yeah,
Acros.
different designer and everything, but they touted it as the Gloomhaven in space or whatever it was. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and I guess let me be clear. I've said this is not for me. If this was Gloomhaven 2 with a whole new story and some improvements, I'm all in. I can't finish Frosthaven fast enough to get to that, in a year. But yeah, this doesn't have enough different to get me excited really at all.
But if you're somebody who's never been into Gloomhaven,
Yeah.
it's probably that's the audience, right?
Yeah.
And so the question is really,
Right. Yeah.
Sephiroth Fair hasn't had much issue. Like they've hit.
Yeah.
So my assumption is they've done some market research.
Yeah.
Hopefully they understand that there is a market for it.
Hopefully.
Because they're not going to produce this without a market unless they go to Kickstarter. If this is going to crowdfunding, then that's their test, right? If it crowdfunds, then great. But if they're going to print it and then sell it, that'll be interesting. that their minis in the RPG are going to sell like crazy anyway. So
Yeah, and the minis they mentioned for this are going to be greatly improved. They mentioned that was one of the big things. They're taking a big step forward from the original Gloomhaven, which people thought those minis were okay, but they weren't anything special. So they're updating everything. I mean, they're touching up everything. But
I do have to say that, remember that the first Gloomhaven was largely just Isaac.
yep, for years. Yeah, he worked on that for years and years and years.
Yeah, so there is an evolution, bringing in new people and everything like that. So that's great. I like, on one hand, I'm glad that they're doing it. I mean, I won't be buying it.
But I'm glad it's out there.
I have Jaws of the Lion.
Yeah.
I have Jaws of the Lion. I haven't played. So
Yep, I got to borrow that from Carlos so I can finish that one off. But yep.
This is like
Anyway,
George
that's,
Lucas re-releasing Star Wars. What could go wrong, right?
Yeah, exactly.
oh, don't get me started on that. This is a good discussion, guys.
poke the
Thank you,
bear.
Mr. Frazier.
Appreciate it.
Great
Thanks-
discussion.
Thanks for calling, Ron. As always, another good one.
No problem. All right.
Have a good night.
Gloomhaven Second Edition. No, this doesn't hit.
I just don't see myself playing that amount of game for one thing. You know, I have a hard enough time getting through Mansions of Madness and Jaws of the Lion, let alone Gloomhaven.
I mean, all joking aside, though, I mean, maybe
It's a great game.
Maybe Childress kind of took the approach like, you know, back, you know, when the original Gloomhaven was released, that was the best he could do at the time. And he sees, you know, he can better it maybe a little bit for the people that are still kind of coming into the Gloomhaven realm. But, you know.
Star Wars Special Edition.
Right. You know.
Handshot first.
Hey, Kyle says, more interesting than he expected. I know earlier when we were talking about it in the Discord, he did the snoozy snooze
About Gloomhaven.
the Yanni snooze. Yeah, so now he's, but yeah, and I kudos to him. Just like you're saying, Mike. I mean, kudos to him for putting his pride aside a little bit. That original Gloomhaven that he worked on for years by himself.
Right.
He's man enough to say, all right, it wasn't perfect. There were some improvements that could be made. I've got more people working for me now. They've got different ideas. Let's brush this thing up, redo it, and put it out there again. So, yeah, I mean, I hope it sells. I hope it does well. I don't want to see him fail by any means because I want the product to keep coming. I can always play more in that line. So,
I mean, it's either that or they did the market research and they realize they can make some money.
Yeah,
on
I mean,
it, and they're
print
just-
print
has
cash.
nothing to- has nothing to do with pride.
Clearly, he's done something right, so
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a better businessman than at least I am.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah, look at all the games I've developed.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it'd be, going to the book is the big thing, and now Frosthaven.
No,
doesn't
see,
have the book,
I've been
though.
complaining about that.
Frosthaven is tiles, but they said that they'd already made that decision before the
book hit off.
Yeah, before the Jaws of the Lion stuff. So he said that they eventually are going to go back and do a book for Frosthaven that you'll be able to buy separately, but that's down the line a
More
little bit.
printing money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
That's all I need to
add-ons.
do is make like an upgrade kit.
yeah.
that would've been
That's what
cool.
I would. That's what I would go for too. Yeah, like here's 10 new missions. Here's some tweaked characters
And
and a map
books
book,
instead
and
of
there you
tiles.
go.
Now, that would be interesting. Now, Rob, would that interest you if they said here is this Gloomhaven Second Edition, or if you already own Gloomhaven, you can buy this kit for $50 and it's got the mission like Dan just.
I gotta say that was about to piss me off because when Ron posted up, in
Tell
our
me how
chat-
you really feel.
posted up in our chat, he's like Gloomhaven version 2.0, and I started listening. They were about 10 or 15 minutes already into the live stream, and I heard him talking about, hey, there's some, we made some additions. There's some new minis you can get. I originally was thinking, oh crap, I have to have the original Gloomhaven because Nick very lovingly butchered up my Gloomhaven. He asked me if it was okay. He was like, you're never going to play this again, and he led me to believe that him and his kids were going to play through it or something, and then they were going to, do whatever with it. So I was like, no, it's good. We got 2.5 years out of it. It's fine. You can just keep it. And I had bought it originally, but I was like, just keep it, do whatever. And then when we went over for our first session of Frosthaven, he had taken the board and put it in a big frame and put it on the wall with all of our
So
starting
no.
characters
You
and
don't wanna
everything.
upgrade
So yeah,
that.
so that was going to piss me off because he had glued stuff on there, and I was like, oh shit, I got to go pry all that stuff back off there because now I got to play the new campaign of Frosthaven with my old stuff. So, but no, yeah, that's funny. But yeah, like I say, if
But that's the model of Hero Quest. If you look at Hero Quest, the model is, hey, here's the base game, and then here's $40, you can buy this box. It has a few more minis and 2 quest books with 2 more quests. And there's like 8 of these little box sets that you can add all these different quests. That's a great model they could have went after.
Yeah.
Living board game.
Yes.
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Which I just bought another expansion for Hero Quest.
Copyright Beans and Dice.
Copyright, one mic, one game. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I said Beans and Dice first. Carlos got it.
Timestamp.
You got the TM first.
That's an interesting concept. It's like there's living card games, right? So why wouldn't you have like a board game? Mansions of Madness is kind of like similar, right? You
Yeah, I
just
mean,
keep-
we have stuff like that already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Ticket to Ride. Yeah, I don't know.
Legacy, baby.
I'm mad about
All right.
that. I'm mad about that.
Oh, you're mad. Oh, you're mad about
Really?
the plastic trains. He's pissed about the plastic trains.
You have an
What do you
opportunity.
want?
Like I
You want
want
like diamond trains,
no,
or
I
what do you
want
want?
I want like the cool trains, like the come
The
in,
wooden
like,
hand-carried
10th
ones?
No,
Yeah.
That is an
10th anniversary edition.
oxymoron. What is a cool train?
No, so the
Whoa,
10th
whoa,
anniversary.
whoa, easy now.
Yeah.
Easy.
Just last half of our viewers.
You have the 10th anniversary edition of Ticket to Ride, and then the Europe one that come with the really cool kind of like painted trains that are like just cool, and they just have another generic plastic train. Like, I don't know.
Let me ask you this: do you think it's because it's a legacy game, and once you're done, it's done?
No, because it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be playable infinitely afterwards.
Oh, it is. Okay,
yeah,
I didn't
it's
know
gonna-
that.
Yeah,
All right.
it's supposed to be like once
Oh.
you're done playing.
That's
you
the new thing with the legacies.
Yeah, they want to make it playable after the fact. But I mean,
Well,
like,
it's not new. I mean, I have Legacy Risk, and that was
playable, supposed to be playable
Yeah,
afterwards.
That's 10 years now.
That-
You got Clank Legacy.
Oh, Rob Davio.
Rob Davio. I
Yeah.
think he did that one.
Yep,
I just
he
think
did.
for $120 price tag to give me like the cheap plastic trains that come in every version of Ticket to Ride, like you could do a little bit better quality. I'm not talking about like crazy thing, like better, just cooler looking plastic trains.
They did touch on it on Dice Tower this morning. They talked about it briefly during the board game Smorgasbord, I think it was. They were talking about it, but they pointed out that that is the cheap. You know, they were like, yeah, it's the same plastic trains. But when you look at the pictures now that they've released, there are a lot of little mini tuck boxes, and they were like, ooh, I'm starting to get excited though about what could be in all those little tuck boxes.
Yeah,
so
maybe like one of them is upgraded your train.
maybe,
Who knows?
yeah. I mean, who
I'm
knows the
excited. I'll
possibilities?
still
so.
probably pick
Stickers
it up, but-
for your train.
Yeah, sticker your
That
trains.
was
There you
so-
go.
That's gonna allow for the $30 metal train upgrade boxes you can get later.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Yeah.
Stegmeyer.
Yeah, doesn't even have to be upgrade. You're like
Can't
metal.
sell the metal Max if you put them in the first game.
Because even the 10th anniversary edition of Ticket to Ride has plastic trains, but they're like painted a little bit, and they're all unique.
Yep, they're hand painted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're hand.
Man, it's spoiled.
Oh, the wooden one was hand painted. The,
wooden-
the,
yeah, this
the
was
wooden ones
wooden,
were.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't know about the plastic.
Hand
ones.
whittled by small children.
Yeah, in a factory in Thailand.
I was just looking. I was just hoping, like when I heard Legacy, I was thinking, oh, cool. You know, it'll probably come with cool trains that I could then use those in all my other Ticket to Ride games. And no,
One other cool thing they said about it. We're wrapping this. Oh, I know Carlos wants to.
Well,
say
Kyle wants us to keep this conversation going regarding
yeah.
Ticket to Ride Legacy, but
No.
what's something cool?
Well, they did officially announce that it is a legacy, so that was announced within the last day or two. So
Yeah.
everybody kind of knew that was coming, but they officially announced that. But the other thing is that they've announced. Again, this is just a little tiny thing, but they've announced that it's not going to be a rehash of the prior. Ticket to Rides. I guess some people were concerned because you got like the Europe version, which adds a little bit of a different mechanic. You've got the Scandinavian countries, which adds a different mechanic, and they've announced that they're not just doing that in the Legacy because it's 12 games.
Well,
and there was some fear that people were, they're just going to add a little thing that we've already seen. They're going to add a little thing we've already seen and build on each other.
there already
But-
is a version of Ticket to Ride, or am I thinking of Catan, where there is the map of America and you're building from east to west? Is that?
I haven't seen that one. I don't know. Yeah.
Yep, just made that up.
No, it might be a Catan.
Yeah, but there's the puzzle piece thing. They've kind of announced that you're going to have envelopes that you open. There's going to be puzzle pieces you pull out and add to the board.
I'm not
so
a fan of that.
You're making the board.
Like
as you
they
go.
never sit right. Like I can't
Yeah.
think of a single game. Even maybe
No.
Descent.
All right,
Descent did a good job with their puzzle pieces.
Made it up.
No, it's not. It's a Catan. It's a
Sorry, you
Catan
found
game.
it. Oh, Catan. Okay, I don't know. Go ahead, Carlos.
I mean, seeing how excited Rob and people are, I'm going to create a game just called Tuck Boxes and Envelopes.
Oh yeah,
You see the excitement when he talked about tuck
My
boxes?
City
Yeah.
with all the envelopes.
So
that you-
actually, so 2010, or I think, or Catan Settlers of America is a game. You start off in the east coast of America,
I do remember this.
and you work your way east to west, building out.
okay,
And so that's why I confuse her anyway. So not Ticket to Ride.
okay.
Catan.
All right, well, we're getting down to the last half hour of the show. I can't believe we did this show for an hour.
Yeah,
Like what were like that we did
Flies
this for
by.
an hour?
yeah.
Like the
And a
first 2 years?
One topic. Oh, you mean the whole show in the
Yeah, we did the whole show in an hour.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. It's
hour 10, hour and 15. We ran over regularly, but
yeah, that's why we went to this longer
2 hour
format.
Yeah.
But before we run out of time,
We gotta hit this board. Yeah,
we gotta
tonight.
get our board
Gotta do the
updated.
board
We
tonight.
gotta
So
commit
back
to
to
that.
Mike. Right, you were talking to Mike. Mike's.
So let's talk.
Yeah.
One mic, one game, one board with 20 games.
Yeah, 20 games.
That's a
nothing's
long
changing.
title.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, it
You
is.
need to cut that down. Yeah.
Nothing's changing.
Nothing's changing. I
All right,
haven't
next
played
person.
enough games
Next.
to make it worthwhile. I was
All right,
just saying.
folks, that's it.
All right, good
End
night,
of the show.
everyone.
Thanks
We're
for
done.
watching.
See ya.
Don't forget.
Hopefully everybody was up and ready for that exciting finish there.
Yeah. No, I was
That
just
tells you how
trying
I
to get my word in there that I played the Lord of the Rings LCG for the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time.
And it's not
a
making your
couple of
top
nights
20.
ago. No, not making my. Well, I mean, it was the first
Yeah.
scenario, and it was kind of like a learning game with my son, and I'm sure we got a couple of things wrong, but I mean, it seems interesting, but I don't think it's enough where I'm going to keep buying into it, going forward. I had that one large expansion that I got off of the Boardlandia Ding and Dent sale, which is what made me buy the base game. So I don't think I'm going to be buying any more than that. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't interest me that much.
Just get the games lined up for August. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go, man. I'm ready.
I-
So anyway, no
one
changes
piece
to my
about
board.
that game. One piece about that game that interested me when it first came out, and I bought it, and then a buddy of mine bought it off me because he really wanted it more than I did, was the idea of the tournament play for that. The idea that you would go to a tournament and build your deck that you would play with, right? Because it has different aspects, I believe they call it. I can't remember what they're called, but
Yeah,
different
they do.
aspects of the deck that you build for your deck. But
Right.
then there's the bad guy deck, the Sauron deck. Sauron, right? Yeah. The eyeball. There's that deck.
Eyeball.
And
Yeah,
I'm
the
not sure
event
if
deck or whatever they call
Yes.
it. Yeah.
and you would build that deck, and then you would go play an opponent by swapping with them. They would play their deck against the Sauron deck you built, and you would play your
Oh,
deck against their
interesting.
Sauron deck. So
I didn't even
that
know about
idea
that.
as a tournament just sounded so cool for that game system.
You said deck a lot of times there.
Yeah, it was a lot of deck.
A lot of deck.
A lot of deck.
All right,
It-
okay.
it is after 10. So, okay, Rob, we'll come to you on your board. Then we'll hit Wayne.
Are you gonna
And
do
then,
Yeah. Well, we got some similar games. We probably want to put up kind of back to back.
sure.
We got one.
We have one similar
Ready to
game.
run?
All right. Well, you're only doing 2, and I'm only doing 3, so it's 50% of your list.
Go ahead, Robert.
Anyway,
Take it away.
All right, so I started kind of moving some stuff, rearranging some stuff down here on the bottoms of our list because I see that Carlos has written down 2. I've written down 3, so it's been what? I guess just a little history here. It's been at least a month
Right.
Since
That's why I was like
we've-
really wanting to focus on getting this done.
since we've hit the big
I got
board.
6 new games.
So yeah, so wait for Wayne's big climactic finish here with 6 games. So, I know Dan was itching to say something there about a climactic finish.
No, I wasn't even going to make a joke. I was going to say I got 20 new ones.
Oh, there you go. You got 20 brand new ones.
Dan's got a list.
So looking over my shoulder here. So I pulled off. I went ahead and set aside because I'm going to put 3 up. I think Carlos is going to put 2 if I'm reading the room correctly. But my bottom 3 that are coming off are Lost Ruins of Arnak, Clank Catacombs, and Le Havre. So again, all really good games. But I'm going to go ahead and just peel those off here.
Those are some really good games.
And I'm going to start with, we've kind of joked about this before because Carlos and I had talked about it the last couple of weeks that we knew this was coming, or at least on my list. Dune Imperium. So we got this whole funny, Lost Ruins of Arnak versus Doom thing.
Stop
and Lost
it.
Ruins of Arnak, fell far enough down my board by adding 3 games. Lost Ruins is coming off the board.
Maybe
So
if you play the game right.
if I play it again and we play it right, then with the expansion, it may go back on. So that's a rule. Everybody knows that. If I play it again, it can go back up there. But Dune is going to knock off Lost Ruins. So quite fitting, I think, that with the way we've bantered these games about. But Dune is going to go fairly
This
high
was
up
on
my
purpose.
list here. Yeah.
This is
So
highly planned,
yeah.
He's
strategically planned for
for the
months.
guy who doesn't like theme. He's doing this very thematically.
Yes, exactly. Big build up here. Big talk. So. Let me see. So bumping them down here from the bottom, I'm going to take Sulkin down to 20, Lorenzo Il Magnifico down to 19, Ra down to 18. Ooh, this is getting rough. Ethnos down to 17, Welcome to down to 16, Shogun 15, Res Arcana now going to be 14. Man, that one
How
hurts
dare
too.
you?
I know that one hurts.
You're gonna hate me.
Tapestry down to 13. Oh, are you taking it off?
It's off my
Oh,
list.
No.
Whoa.
That's all right.
Trajan's coming down to 12.
It's okay to be wrong, Wayne.
Yeah. Unsettled down to 11. Oh, now we get real rough. Thunder Alley. We've talked about Thunder Alley tonight. We talk about Thunder Alley almost every week.
It's better than Dune Imperium.
I agree.
Thunder Alley down to 10.
That's incorrect.
Oh.
That's where we make our big first mistake.
Get out.
So Tyrants on the Underdark. I'm gonna wedge it in here. I'm
You
gonna
better not move Tyrants below.
for now. I'm putting it in between Tyrants and Thunder Alley. I'm gonna put it my 7, 8, 9 spot there. So I've got 2 more that got to go up to fill some space. But Carlos, I believe you also want to rank Dune.
Yeah, I've got 2 games coming off the board. So the 2 games that are coming off are Potion Explosion and Pitch Car. Pitch Car I expected it to come off quicker.
Yeah.
It's a lighter game, but it is fun when you play. It is.
Oh,
It
it's
is.
such a great con
It is
game.
so much fun. My Dune Imperium.
Tell me when to stop.
Go ahead. We're going to bring Tapestry down to the 20 spot where it belongs.
Getting close to where Carlos' score is.
Biblios.
About the same. Yeah, you're right. Good call.
That's a thing in golf. Like when you shoot your age, that's like a thing. And so now Carlos said when his score matches his ranking, that's a thing. Yeah.
We're going to go over Chocolate Factory, over Ethnos, over Shogun,
Okay.
over Radlands, and I think we're going to stop right about there.
What game are you putting up?
Dune Imperium.
Dune Imperium.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
All right.
It's a good game, and I do like it. It's just
I honestly thought both of you would be top 5.
no, it's just too tight. It's too tight. It's too unforgiving.
It's gonna.
It might climb again. I hadn't played it in over a year, and I need to play it again.
There
and
it
we
is.
Played, and just to touch on, we played it with both of the expansions. We talked about that in a show. Was it last week or the week before when Jim
2
was
weeks.
here? Yeah, 2 weeks ago we played it with both the expansions. So that is a little bit in the figuring there too. I didn't love the expansions actually. I didn't love the second expansion, but anyway.
Yep, that's our board. Rob, you got 2 more?
Gonna keep going. I got 2 more to go here. So I've got Obsession. Obsession, a game I've played online on Board Game Arena several times.
Great game.
Yep, I've just played it in person for the first time a couple weeks ago. We played it over at
was
Samantha's
awesome.
house, Sam's house, and really, really good game. It was as good in person as it is online. So I like it about equally. I can't say that about all games. Some of them I definitely like one way or the other. This one had benefits to playing it both ways, I think. So
I think Cat Maeve had. I knew Kyle was going to pop in with Obsession. That's his jam. Cat Maeve had a comment while we were talking about Dune Imperium. He called it tedious.
tedious.
I think that's a comment to it. I think it's about right.
This is rough. You think I put a little more thought into this ahead of time, but
So you agree with tedious?
Yeah,
And
Dune
it's-
Imperium.
And it's number 13 on your list. You're just like, damn, I love some tedious.
all right, I'm gonna. While he's
It's
thinking about
not
that,
terrible. It's good,
not
but
terrible.
it is rough.
I mean, I'm just starting to question your list if you're like, damn, this game is tedious. But it's number 13 on my list of the most tedious games is Dune Imperium.
Rob,
still
how's the production value on Obsession?
Yeah,
it's good.
It's
I
good.
can't tell based off of the
Yeah,
pictures.
right.
It's thick.
It's really nice.
It's thick cardboard. It's a nice glossy finish on it. It looks nice. It's a nice production.
But the only thing is, there's on Etsy you can buy a stickers pack for the meeples.
Yeah.
That when I buy Obsession.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
It'll be an automatic.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
you're on
buying
it.
the
Yeah.
sticker pack.
Oh, so you can teach. And
Yeah.
once you have
I'm
it.
gonna be buying it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love that game. It's a good game.
It's
Yeah, it's
good.
good.
It's really good.
So I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to put it at number 10. So it's going to be below Dune that I just put up at 8. Thunder Alley is going to be 9. Obsession 10. And Unsettled 11. So, again, a chance to climb. I've played it both digitally and live probably about 5-6 times now. And it's a good game. Real solid game. So, again, folks, it is getting hard to get on this list. I'm going to give a quick, after we're done, a quick rundown on the 4 or 5 games I played that did not make the list. But the games have got to be pretty dang good right now to get up here. So, all right, what you got, Carlos?
Quartermaster General by Ian Brody, designer of War of the Ring, the card game. This is through, I think, Ares.
Yes,
Sounds
Ares
right.
games?
It's Ares, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Really, really pleasantly surprised me. I knew I was going to like it right off the bat. I love historical games, but man, I did not expect it to be that quick, that snappy, that holy crap, it's my turn again. And it kept you engaged. It kept me engaged in the whole game. And I get distracted easily. You know, I'll get up, walk around, do stuff. This game did not give me the opportunity to. I am so looking forward to playing this game in a 6-player version because
Yes.
it does play and it scales well from 2 to 6 players. And right off the bat, it's going underneath Dune Imperium at 14. Robert, if you could for me.
I don't have to slide anything.
Yeah, no, I think I can't get it as. I'm not going to get it into the board games that I love, the real visceral, like difficult Euro games and games that give you, those good feelings.
Tedious games.
Tedious, that's a word. But it's just fun. It's fun.
Better placement than Mitch and that BS positioning.
I agree.
Castles of Burgundy. Yes,
Mitch-
I agree too.
Mitch is-
yeah.
On probation for the show at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Castles of Burgundy at number. What's that? Number 20 now on his
20,
list.
Number 20 on his list.
Almost ready to fall off. Yeah, that's not right.
Blasphemy.
Can't do that.
Unacceptable.
All right, my last one. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to clear a room for the big list that we're waiting for here.
Oh, this guy's got
Wayne's,
20.
all these Wayne's
Edmund.
editions.
We're all brand new.
Oh, and 20.
list,
Yes. Oh, yeah. I forget. Dan.
I'll just rattle them off real
did
quick.
say he was going to bring us 20. But Endeavor Age of Sail. So this one, I gotta preface this one a little bit. So
I'm excited to see where this lands.
such a good game, and I'm gonna rate this a little higher than maybe some of y'all think I should. And the reason is again we're talking about enjoyment. As Nick explained when he called in, the turns in this are so quick. Even though I overtaught it, which I overteach everything, I want everybody to be on the
What?
same footing when they start a game. I want everybody to know all the rules, so there's no mid-game, oh, well, if I'd have known that, I would have done that differently or something. So I try to be thorough in my rules teaches, so that's fine. So even
Thorough and very careful.
very careful. Oh, well, yes, that's a different story, but yes. We're after dark, but I don't think we can go there.
Yeah, that's not even after dark material.
Yeah,
We're not going to talk about
We're not
that.
going to go there. But anyway, this is a game that I've talked about for a while. This was a game that I'd heard a lot about, and I was like, yeah, okay, I got to play that sometime. And then once I played it, Carlos knows, I talked this game up big time. And I think I played it before you did. I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
brought
A
it
couple of
in.
times before.
Yeah.
Then you bought it. Then you brought it over.
Dan taught it to you, didn't he?
Probably
I think
so.
we played with your
Maybe
daughter.
played it there. Yeah, I think that was our first game. Probably. Yep.
Yeah,
Over
I
at
played
the
it with
shop.
you guys at the shop.
Over
I
your
played it
time.
with Rob. Rob
Yeah.
has introduced it to friends of mine that aren't deep into gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the wide variety of people that have enjoyed
Yep.
this game.
You only have a choice of 5 different actions on your turn, and it's one action, one action, one action. It's one of those that goes around the table, and if people have any idea what they're going to do, the turns can go lightning quick. So you do a thing, it's next person, do a thing, next person, and it's just basically placing some chits on the board,
Watch your mouth.
taking some chits off the board, and it's really quick. And it is a game that halfway through that first game, you're like, oh, I probably would have done things a little differently if I'd have known. But by your second play, I mean, you're on even footing with other people who have played. So this one's going to go pretty high. I'm actually going to move this above Tyrants, I think.
Disagree.
Okay, and I'm going to move it above Concordia. This is going to make the top 5. This is going to
Disagree.
crack the top 5.
Disagree.
So Tyrants is going to slide to 7.
No.
I don't know. I don't disagree with him.
Not even
I
making
do.
my 20.
I
Concordia
don't
sliding to
disagree
6.
with
Not going to
him.
make your top 20.
No.
Oh,
I think it's a great game, but I don't think it's better than Tyrants.
I'm putting it at 5. So it's going to be top 5 now. Our Brass Birmingham, Orleans, Blood Rage, Mosaic, and Endeavor Age of Sail.
Keep it going. Number 6, Concordia for Rob. This is number 7, Tyrants of the Underdog for you folks at home that can't see the board. Number 8, Dune Imperium. Number 9 for Rob is Thunder Alley. Number 10 is Obsession. Number 11, Unsettled. Number 12 is Trajan. I got it right this time.
Yes.
13, Tapestry. Number 14, Res Arcana. Number 15, Shogun. 16, Welcome to. 17 is Ethnos. Number 18 is Ra. 19, Lorenzo Il Magnifico. And number 20 for Rob, Zolkin.
That's it. Carlos, run down yours.
My number. Okay, let me real quick before I run down mine. My comments on Endeavor Age of Sail. I really love the buildings and the different quantity of them, so that none of our docks look the same. Like,
Asymmetry as you go on.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's,
further and further in the game becomes more asymmetric. Yep.
I'm with you on that placement.
Nice.
I see it.
And it plays really well with a whole bunch of different strategies. Like that game we played at For Honor and Glory, Nick was building up and he had like level 5 buildings like super early in the game.
Oh, yeah.
I never got like past a level 2 building and still won the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can take a lot of different paths. It's
Different
great.
paths to victory. Yep, for sure. Yep.
Oh, it's so annoying too when you know if I place this piece here, I'm just going to open up this region for somebody else.
Yep. And that race for the governor tracks on each of the little side tracks. Oh, such a good game. Yeah.
But not as good as my number 1 for my top 20. Brass Birmingham. Number 2, Castles of Burgundy. Number 3, Concordia. Number 4, Mosaic. Number 5, Cascadia. Number 6, Crusaders. That will be done. Number 7, Viticulture. Number 8, Tyrants of the Underdark. Which I think we're no.
I got
Rob's
a 7.
still a little bit
You
higher.
got it at 8. Yeah.
Number 9, Gizmos. Number 10, Lost Ruins of Arnak. 11, Smartphone Inc. 12, Furnace. 13, new to the list, Dune Imperium. 14, new to the list, Quartermaster General. 15, Radland. 16, Shogun. 17, Ethnos. 18, Chocolate Factory. 19, Biblios. And number 20, Tapestry.
I approve.
One more game, Tapestry's off.
Yeah.
Love you, Jamie.
You got to get over that 100 hump. Yeah.
All right, that's our top 20 list. We'll go.
Where are we going next?
Let's go to Dan. Wayne can close it out because he's got his list again.
Well,
But
it's a brand new list.
yeah, brand new
Let's
list
hear
from Dan. We've never heard it.
I'm excited.
All right. So I'll just start at 20 and work my way up. Unless it's something that you haven't heard of, I'll just keep going. I know number 20 you probably haven't heard of. It's Hornet Leader, which is a carrier.
Oh, I've heard it.
You heard Carrier Air Operations.
DVG games,
it's
right?
Dan Viersen Games. Great game. It's a solo game only. You have
Number 1?
No,
No, 20.
20.
20.
I'm starting at the
Okay.
bottom.
I was like, what are you doing?
Easy
You're done.
now.
Stop right there.
Play a lot. Great game because you can have you have your squad of pilots that with different aircraft. You're arming them with different weapons. You're going on different missions. They gain experience. They get to become better pilots. There's like 6 cards for every pilot as they level up through the game. Great game. Love it for solo play. 19. Too Many Bones. I mean, chip theory games. Just about everything they make is great. But Too Many Bones is a real good one.
Did you back the latest Kickstarter?
Yeah, I did. I just got it all in.
Oh man, mine comes in this Saturday.
Hoplomachus.
Yeah, I got all the Hoplomachus too. Yeah.
Nice. Translating there. Yeah. Go ahead.
18. I've been playing this a lot online and with my wife, King Domino. Love that game.
I've never played.
You've
Never played
No.
King Domino?
It's such a fast game, and
Ian
it
loves that game.
scales great at 2, 3, and 4 players.
Yeah. With the 2-player, do you do the bigger kingdom?
You do the bigger kingdom,
Yeah.
and whether it's
Instead of-
centered or if you have it in the
I love
middle.
that.
Yeah.
That's the
I
best.
see. I don't think I've ever heard like gamers talk about it. Like I hear it thrown out there as a welcoming game, but to hear you bring it up and then
good.
seeing these guys
Yeah.
talk about it, I gotta give it a shot.
I really like puzzle type games, and that the whole time you're like, okay, where can I put this? What's out there? What am I going to take from them so they can't? So yeah, there's a lot of that in there also.
It scales well 2 to 4.
Yeah,
And then
really good.
Yeah.
17 Wingspan. I've never got tired of Wingspan. I still love that
Yeah.
game. 16 Age of Sail.
There you go. All right.
15 Cascadia.
Good, good,
14 may be a surprise. We're getting ready to run a competition on this one. Draftosaurus.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
love Draftosaurus.
Another super light game, but yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of super light games that
Right there
I
on my
really
shelf.
enjoy too.
Easy access game.
Love it.
13 Unsettled. Number 12, one of my favorite deck builders, 51st State.
Oh, I just played that
great
solo
It's a
a
good
couple weeks ago. Which is why I haven't put it on my list yet because I want to play it multiplayer
Solo.
before I throw it out there. But it is making the board.
Oh, yeah.
Once I play it multiplayer, it's making the board.
So, Captain Ahab, is that we're going to be running a BGA tournament for Draftosaurus in
Yeah.
our
Yes.
Discord.
On the Discord.
In our
Beats and Dice Discord
yeah,
channel.
You get on our Discord channel, then it'll be there. Yeah.
Number 11, I got Aquatica. I can't get enough of Aquatica.
Great game. I haven't played it this year. It'd be on my list. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Play that a lot. The wife likes it a lot, and she crushes me every time.
Good.
Number 9, Orleans, or if Rob, go ahead. Say it.
Orleans.
There you go. That's the way it goes. I can't believe this one, number 8, isn't on your list. Arkham Horror, the card game.
So that's one of those. It's weird. It's hard for me. I'm not going to get into a thing, but it's hard to put that up there because we're mid campaign. We've been playing for a while. If I put it up there, it'd be kind of like Gloomhaven. I don't have Gloomhaven or Frosthaven up there.
I don't have Blood Bowl up
Those
there.
would be right at the top. I
Right,
mean,
like
yeah.
to me, my Blood Bowl would be at the top of all of it. I
Games
just,
played in 2023.
Have you even played Blood Bowl this year, man?
oh, I played. I
in a
lost.
league.
I lost a lot of Blood
He
Bowl
lost
this year.
hard in a league. Yeah.
Number 7, I got Maglev Metro.
Ooh,
Even though
good
I
one.
still haven't got to the new maps yet, we're going to get to that.
I want to play the new maps.
6, I got Brass Birmingham. Can't get enough of that.
Great game.
5, Thunder Alley. Love it.
Yep.
4 might be a surprise. Ticket to Ride.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good game.
It's a list of games that Dan wants to play.
Bring you joy.
That's all it is.
That's
yeah.
what that's
I mean,
what the list is.
And that
I'm usually in like 15 games of it on Board Game Arena, like all the time. I love that game.
Yeah.
Nice.
and you're right. This top 20 list, because Robert was trying to make a algorithm or a system for it. And I'm like, no, it's how did you enjoy the game this year
But-
when you played
Yeah,
it?
you'll
Yep.
see that in mine. There's a game that's really high on my list that you're gonna be like, wow, that's pretty high, and it's just the enjoyment that I had playing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the next two, number 3 and 2, are because of Board Game Arena. Number 3, I got Russian Railroads. Play that
great game.
all the time.
Great game.
Can't get enough of Russian
A
Railroads.
lot of fun.
Castles of Burgundy. That's an easy one to put on the list. Is number 2 and number 1. Tyrants of the Underdark. Favorite
Number
deck builder.
1?
Yep, favorite deck builder for me.
Wow.
I will play that over anything, anytime anybody wants to.
I would call it a favorite deck builder for me as well.
It was really good.
Yeah, we got it.
It is in my top 10.
7 and 8,
Yeah.
and Dan's got it at 1.
I'm really
Yeah.
trying. I want to own a copy, and I'm trying to decide whether I just want to buy the new version or if I want to track down an older version. Because
That's a tough choice.
The differences.
I'm glad I have the old
and-
one because I don't have to make that choice. Yeah.
It's tough,
Yeah.
man. Oh, man, that's a
Good list.
That's a really good list.
Yeah,
I like that. a lot
very
of that.
solid.
Yeah. All right, so I'll share my.
All right, drum roll. Here we go. The 6 changes in the top 20.
Yeah, so the 6 games falling off my list was so Distilled.
Shit, never been there.
Yeah.
I like
Sorry.
this. No, I really like. I think if I play it again, it might well pop up. But I really enjoyed it, and I actually bought a copy at the flea market,
Yeah,
so
so
I
you
own
own it
a
now.
copy now. So I enjoy it.
I only ever played it one time, but I did like it. I'd like to
I
play
like
it
a
some
lot.
more.
It just there's a lot of 20 games. It's only 20 games, right? Karuba is a really fun game.
Oh, yeah,
with
I
my
like
kid all the
that.
time. Wonderland's War.
Oh, that one hurts.
I loved it. It was a good game. I'm never gonna own it because it's just a big production value. Res Arcana. I know you guys love the game.
That's-
I do. I love that
Still
game,
haven't
too.
played
There's no
it.
excuse
it
for
just
that.
doesn't. It just
You never played Res Arcana? You
It's-
would love it.
hits,
It's on my wish list on Amazon.
right
I
up your
just
alley.
haven't bought it.
Man,
Right up
you
your
better
alley.
play it at
Understand
Dice
it.
Tower
It's-
East.
Engine
Okay.
builder.
Hey, I'll say
yeah,
I
resource.
will play this game anytime. I
Yeah.
like it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's do it
I
on
just-
a Thursday.
it just
Let's
doesn't hit.
introduce me on a Thursday.
Okay.
Someone you
I don't
I'm
know.
in.
Dan,
I got it,
Dan
yeah.
owns it. Okay.
There we go.
Hey, I can
took
actually
off
talk
ticket-
about a game on a Thursday now. Go for it.
Give it the beans,
You can,
Mike.
play, you can play
Give it.
virtual. You can play virtual with us. Yeah.
Ticket to Ride. I took off Ticket to Ride. I like Dan though. I love Ticket to Ride. I'll play any version of Ticket to Ride. I keep every game day for the
Yes.
last year and a half. I
Marklin.
brought the Ticket to Ride Marklin.
I want to
Which
play
is
it.
the German, the fancy one, and Rob wants to play it. So, and then Fantastic Factories, which I really like.
Oh, that's a great game, too.
great
It's a
game,
great game.
but it just kind of fell off my list. But going up to top 20, Maglev Metro hit my top 20.
Nice.
That's a good one.
I own a copy. I really like it.
You're listening.
Nope.
Nope.
You are still listening, but
Yes, you
I'm
are.
still listening. Yeah, fun game. Loved it. I do want to try the new maps. That'd
Yeah.
be kind of fun. I actually, after we played my version, I went home and took a little Sharpie and was hit
The
hit all
colors.
all the gold ones with a little black dot because
the gold and the
we played it with James Odak, Sam, and James and I could not tell the difference between the bronze and gold at all.
So in the new map pack,
Yeah.
it came with new
All new
ones,
meeples.
and the
Nice.
colors are much more different.
okay.
Yeah, you can
You
tell
know,
them
it's funny.
apart.
Rob and I, first time we played it was at a hotel. Where was it, Robert?
What were you
was
guys
it?
doing?
Is that Louisiana?
No, it was St. Louis.
St.
In
Louis?
the lobby.
Design Day.
In St. Louis, in the lobby, and it was bad lighting. It wasn't until after game that we realized there were two different colors.
Oh yeah.
We thought those were the same.
Use them interchangeably. Yeah.
And to be honest, even like I should be wearing glasses right now, but even the pink and purple were like sometimes a little
Lavender and
depending
pink.
on the light in the room.
Yeah.
My one pet peeve about that game. It's a really good game.
They fixed that with the new version.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome. Number 19 didn't change. Biblios moved down a little bit. Loved it. Went out and bought a copy after we played it with you guys.
Nice.
Number 18, new to the list, Cascadia.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
There you go, my man.
Yep. Only 18 though. I want to play it again. It's definitely a game that I want to own a copy. Just came back into reprint. I think it was out of stock a lot of ways. I think this is a game that my kid and I can play. My
wife and I love playing
Yeah, I
it.
think it'll be a good game. Oops, sorry.
Ding.
Ding.
This has
thing's
been
right in my
your
face.
meditation
I
moment.
know. So, but Cascadia, I could see rising as a game that's a light game that it was fun. It was good. We played that.
Even solo, its solo rules are so simple, and there's a free solo app if you go online. I can't remember the name of the website, but just Google Cascadia Solo Online, and you can play it solo online on any web-based phone.
Yep.
It's so easy.
Yep.
And
so,
they're getting ready to
quick
release
question, they have
an
asked, what's the
expansion.
difference in Ticket to Ride 10th anniversary? It's just a very fancy version of Ticket to Ride that has cool trains. My buddy owns a copy, so we play it. On my list, I'm very specific about the version of the game that I play, so that's why it's Ticket to Ride that fell off,
Nerd.
but really I just played the Ticket to Ride. Yeah, exactly. First Rat. First new game.
I got to play that. You guys had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah,
I saw it hit your list. It hit Samantha's list on the
And it hit
Discord,
James
and James
Odak's,
Odak's
so it
list
hit
on the.
all of our
And
lists,
he's a heavy Euro gamer, so
Right,
I was surprised.
So it's a really,
yeah.
I almost ruined the game for them when I explained it because I said it's kind of like a gamer version of Candyland. And
Yeah.
they're like, it is definitely not that. But it kind of is. It's a really fun game. You're trying to take your rats and go to space, and you're moving your rats kind of through a maze. But that's the Candyland part. Is you're moving up through the board, and you can move back, and then there's certain actions that move you back. But every space you move to gives you resources, and there's tracks you move up on, and then you can build parts for the spaceship, and you can go to space with the rat and different things like that. So it's really just a fun game, but there's a lot of decision space there that you have to pick up on. Do you want me to shop?
No,
keep going, keep going. Yeah.
I was just curious. Like,
yeah, First
Dice,
Rat's-
Dice Tower loved it. They gave it
Dice Tower
great
loved it,
reviews.
yeah. And now you've got me, Samantha, and James all love it.
Yeah, I
It's
gotta
a fun
play it.
game. I got on a copy. We can bring it over here.
Yeah.
It's just a fun game. It's a cool production value, and it's a kind of a neat theme. So First Rat could move up if I play it more. Viticulture stays, and Viticulture World,
World.
specifically, because
Yeah,
that's what I
okay.
was playing.
Yeah.
That's going to fall off, I think. Viticulture World's just tough, man. It's just too
Yeah.
hard.
My wife asked me, "Hey, I want to play it again." I'm like, "I'm tired of being beat. I'm
We've
tired of losing."
We've beaten things. Viticulture. I need to just play basic Viticulture, and then it'll probably pop up my list pretty high again. So, Crusaders That I've Done has moved down to 15. I really like it. It's, don't need Wingspan Asia is basically Wingspan. Wingspan Asia is the one we played the most. It is kind of a different game, but I kind of lump them together. It's pretty self-explanatory. Barren Park, we all kind of know Barren Park.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great polynomial placement game. I love it base by itself with my kid, with the expansions, with more gamer people. Nidavellir is a solid game. I'm kind of cooling on it a bit though, because I've almost gotten to the point where it's almost like Puerto Rico, where you have to play it in a certain you bid these because you know it's going to work out a certain way, and a little deterministic. And the expansions just don't add enough to make.
Yeah,
I don't like the expansions.
I don't like the
'cause it adds
expansions,
too
yeah.
much, and it gets too crazy. So I think Nidavellir might cool a bit, and so I need to play it again so I can.
And that's the thing. It's like these games that we've cooled on,
Yeah, a little bit.
and that we put them up a little bit higher because we had a really good time. In order to move it off your list again,
play it
Dan,
again.
the
Yeah.
rule is you got to play it again. Can't
And at
can't
least
move
I'm-
it until you play it
Yeah,
again.
And I'm holding to playing it in person because I play Nidavellir all the time on BGA. I want to play it in person again so that I can move it around. So, number 11, Medici. This is one of my all-time favorite Knizia games. It's up there with Ra. I think that, again, this goes to probably a lot of our group has played Ra recently because of the reprint, and they really like it. And I've introduced Medici to a few people, and like, oh, this is kind of cool. But I've just played Medici so much, and the group that I've played with, we know the game, we play it. The experience of playing it really hammers home. You would hate it.
Probably. Yeah, I don't think.
He's
I don't think
looking
it's
at Carlos.
game.
You're
Yeah.
bidding. You're bidding for lots on your ships to then move up in the market. But when you're bidding with your victory points. You're bidding with your
Oh,
final
no.
score.
Yeah, it wouldn't be your game.
Yeah. So like you hey, I have 50 points. I'm
Mistakes were made.
bidding. Yeah, you way overbid on that. But I love the closed auction. Once around, you get one bid to try to win it type of the games, and this is my favorite of those. So it's Medici. Tyrants in the Dark at number 10. I can see it climbing.
I'll allow it.
It'll climb if I play it more and get a copy. I'm hoping there's maybe one for sale at Dice Tower East or something like that, but I'll definitely look to pick one up. So, number 9, Obsession. Fantastic
Nice.
game. We talked about it. I can see this climbing more. I'm 9. You're at 10.
I'm at 10. Yeah,
10, so we're
I
on the same
approve.
there.
Yeah, I approve.
It runs a little long
Yeah,
ish.
It's a long
and
game.
It's a little dry. I think if you buy the game with the stickers and you kind of do it up a bit, then you can add to the ambiance of the game. But it's a really solid game. I really like it, and I think the BGA implementation is fantastic. Raiders of the North Sea is my favorite of the Shem Phillips North Sea trilogy. It almost replaces Lords of Waterdeep for me as far as that entry level worker placement game. Place one, pull one. So
Yeah.
it's a fantastic game. Oop, too much.
Too fast. Spoilers.
Masters of Madness. Class. I love that. My wife and I play it a lot. We love the app integration, so I've talked about it a bunch before. Zolkin, still up there at number 6.
Good.
Really like that game. Need to own a copy of my own so that I can play it more often. I've missed out on a couple at various sales and stuff, but I'll definitely get a copy soon. Number 5, Lost Ruins of Arnak. I know. I haven't played Dune Imperium this year, so it's not on my list yet. So
That's right. You missed that day.
Okay.
yeah, I did miss that day. And Lost Ruins I really like this game. It's great. And the times I played it in person, we were playing Indiana Jones music, and we were drinking scotch, and it was the theme.
I'm gonna fight the giant warhog beast.
And we were just the guys I was playing with, some of my friends. They were just I taught them the game, and they were just like, this is awesome, and they were so into it, and so it really got into it. So
That's
I
cool.
think it's a little higher than maybe it should be, but again, this is based on my enjoyment of the game and as I played it. And so Lost Ruins was fantastic, and then Comic Hunters still at number 4, and I have a copy coming.
Oh, do you really?
Oh,
Yeah, did you
nice.
Your
Yes.
Brazilian.
My next door neighbor left for Brazil today. He has already purchased the game and had
How many copies?
He can only get the one.
Come on.
I know. No, because actually, what it is he had. So, long story short, he had his brother and his sister who live in Brazil go out looking for it. They went to several board game stores and local stores, sold out everywhere. And so, like, basically what happened is he said every game store they went in and they said, hey, nope, sold out. It's kind of like when people go look for Blanton's bourbon. Nope, sold out. It's like done, right? Everyone buys it. So it was on Brazilian Amazon, and so they bought it on Brazilian Amazon that doesn't ship to the United States, and had it shipped to his brother's house. So he's going to bring it back to me when he goes down there. So tomorrow he's in flight right now to Brazil, and we'll be flying back with my copy in the next 2 weeks.
He's got his own mule. Look at this.
Mule service. Yeah.
But it's great. But it's
How I got my copy.
Same thing, yeah. But that's what's crazy is like that they went to like 3 game stores in Rio and then Sao Paulo. Those are 2 cities that his family lives in. They were like, we went to like 3 game stores, and every game store was like, nope, it's sold out. The moment we get it, people come and immediately buy it and resell it on eBay.
Oh yeah,
So they've learned that it's a game that people want,
It's
especially
hot.
in the States. So yeah, but I will have a copy by Dice Terry.
Nice.
So, yes. Number 3, Concordia.
Good one.
Number 2, Brass Birmingham.
Good one.
And unlike Mitchell, who is banned from the show, Castles of Burgundy number
Temporarily.
1. Yes, temporarily, yes. So that's my
Nice.
top 20. So
I see a comment there. Man, I thought I would see cartographers on at least one list. I have not played cartographers this year. Even if I had, it would be close, but I don't think it would quite make my top 20. It's a good game.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Carlos is thinking he's deep in thought that would cartographers.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I
make
played it this year.
I haven't played it this year.
No, it's like
Yeah.
Dune, cartographers. I have a list of games. I'm like, man, I haven't played that game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I started a list on my whiteboard behind Dan of games I need to play so I can get it onto my
Just
list.
so you can get them on your board.
I mean, with cartographers, you have heroes and you got all the new map packs,
Yeah.
so you can do a bunch of different
Right.
things now.
I was going to say, I think the only game that's on all of our lists is Tyrants.
Tyrants in the Underdark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's my number 9.
Because
So,
you don't have Brass, Birmingham, or Castles in Burgundy.
I have Brass, but I haven't played it this year.
Okay.
For all of us who have played Unsettled, it is on all of our lists.
That is
saying.
correct.
Just
Oh, yeah.
saying.
I have not
Yeah.
played Unsettled.
Yeah. 3 of us. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway.
That's kind of interesting. What's interesting is I think at this point, I mean, for like you guys, Brass Birmingham and Castles, and there's a couple of games at the top that just aren't going to get unseated probably.
No, not with this much time left in the year.
No, but I just like, what game are you going to play? That I mean, for me, Castles in Burgundy.
I mean,
one,
you
too.
you challenged me on my love of Blood Bowl. Like, why isn't Blood Bowl up there?
There you go.
It is.
It depends
It
on
is
what point
the
in the
most
season we
game
catch
I've
you.
played.
If it was early in the season, you're still high hopes and anticipation. It's going up there. But,
It's just like Robert with his Dallas Cowboys.
well, yeah.
Or the best, yeah. So basically every week he's.
Ooh, did that hurt, Robert?
The playoffs every year. I want to see you make the playoffs. All right. That's all I want to see.
So week 1 of the season, Carlos puts Blood Bowl number 1. Then by week 2, it's 10.
It's down.
Then by week 3,
Because I can move it. I can move it every time I
Every time
play
you play
it.
it. Yeah.
There you go.
There you
I think I've had 20 plays this year alone. So I could move it every week.
Yeah. Now Dan's got me thinking though. Do I go back and do I put Arkham Horror on there? Do I put the Gloomhaven, the Frosthaven? So I got to think about that. So, yeah.
It's tough. And here's the reason why. It's because we limited ourselves to a list of 20.
Yeah.
There are games we know we love, and we're okay with loving them without having to put them on the board.
Yeah.
Right? Because we want that 20 spaces to use for other things.
Yeah, it's tough, and again, well, I guess let me comment here that I pulled off. I don't know if people saw these two hanging off the side here. So we had talked a few months ago, maybe ish, about doing a different thing because I had brought up to Carlos. We were talking on the side that the exclusively two player games are hard for me to put on this list. And again, I think that's where Arkham kind of falls into a little bit with Dan. I mean, like I say, if I had to put it up here, it'd be in the top 5 for sure.
Well, the 2 games you're holding right there, I love those.
Yeah,
both great,
Seven Wonders. So I pulled this out of my list about a month ago, and even though I don't think we've done an update since then, but our plan was we might do like a top 5 of just 2-player games. That way I can pull these out because Seven Wonders Duel, awesome game.
Oh,
Hana
yeah.
Makoji, awesome game. Great games. How do I rank those against games that I can play with 4 or 5 or 6 people? I mean, these are great head-to-head, quick, 30-minute, great thinky games that I really, really enjoy.
I mean, if you're going to put that list out there, I mean, I play Lost Cities all the time.
Lost
now.
Cities,
Yeah.
one of my
mine's
favorite
on there.
games.
Jaipur,
Yeah.
Targi.
Yeah.
And I similar when you mentioned that, I sort of didn't. I stopped ranking my 2-player games, and the few that I had on there, I kind of let them fall off.
Yeah, we need to do that. Then we need
Thinking
to
that do
make
like
an effort.
an episode at some point later in the year where we just do 2-player games.
Just top 5 2-player games. Yeah, I don't think 10 may be a little much. I mean, I could do 10, but I think top 5 I could do 5 really good 2-player games.
And that makes it hard to decide.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Try to-
making it hard is a good thing.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Agreed.
After hours.
So Mike approves. So we're going to do a 2-player list here. So Mike, start scraping together your ideas. Dan, your ideas for 2-player games, a top 5 list on 2 players. And,
I'm running out of magnetic board space. Like, what do I like?
We can do it differently. How
I
do
should
you
have wrote it in not permanent ink.
write it in blood? Write it in blood up here. That way you know you're really committed to it. If you're going to put it in blood,
Let's just get a bigger board.
That's what I told Rob. I wanted a board from
he wanted to do all the way from ceiling to floor. I was like, no.
Yeah.
It's too many games. 20 is hard.
No, I'm just saying so you can put everybody's across.
Okay. Yeah. I thought you meant like go to 40 or something.
No,
I was like,
keep it at 20.
Yeah, I like 20. 20 makes it hard.
I'm gonna go back to O'Reilly's and pick up another one of these oil pan changing.
Yeah.
You can just pick up. Can't you just pick up like some sheet metal from Home Depot or something? Like a really long piece of sheet metal.
Piece of sheet
But
metal.
at least this one doesn't have any sharp edges.
That's the reason I picked
that
this.
makes-
Although
You
you
got to
get
wear
this at
gloves when you use it. That's all.
you get this at the dollar store. A comparable size of sheet metal at Home Depot is probably 15 times the cost. But yeah.
No, I like that idea. I mean, it's already hard to put just only 20 up there, but to make it sharp and dangerous, that would be
Right.
awesome.
Exactly.
Make it a sport now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Puerto Rican man found dead.
that brings us to 11 o'clock Eastern. Yeah.
Oh wow! Already?
Early nighttime, man.
Damn.
You guys been going to like 11:30 the last few weeks.
Oh yeah.
11:15 or
we
20
had
last
we had a
week,
lot of
yeah.
guests. I think we went 7 deep last week.
Yeah.
Hey,
There's a lot of
Was
people.
it? Yeah, 6 or 7
right.
people. Yeah.
7
deep.
On that note,
On that note,
don't forget Thursday nights. Every Thursday nights we do this lovely live call-in show here for you. Let your friends know at home. For those of you listening on the podcast, for those of you who join us and commented all show, Captain Ahab, Mad Props commented
Yeah,
all
all in the
show
chat.
along with
Yeah.
us.
There's 9 people watching and 4 likes. So if you're still watching, please like.
yeah, absolutely. And what's this RPG thing y'all do? It's
Oh yeah, once a month we're doing an RPG focused call-in show / podcast. Last month we had a special guest on from the Nerdy Webs, William. Ron and I have been doing that. And that, I've been playing some more D&D.
I think everyone would be welcome to come back again.
I think we had more viewers on the RPG show.
Oh, you need to let me know when that's going on because I actually know people that have like written and have books out there that they've sold.
We
that
got to
are
bring Dan in
RPGs,
then.
yeah.
There you go.
We had more viewers last week than we did consistently than we did on the regular call-in show for the RPG show. So
Diehards.
there's
There's
a market for it.
Yeah. I think once a month's perfect. You know.
And I'm turning all that into podcast episodes. So for those of you who can't stick around and watch late at night, just download the podcast or watch it later on YouTube. And then from there, that's what we got going on.
Cool. Yep. That's it.
And that's that, folks.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't
No
forget to
outro,
like
no
and
names.
subscribe.
Yeah.
This is
Nope.
how we game.
You know who we are.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Tell everybody about us. Thumbs up.
Please.
Like, subscribe, comment.